The delivery room felt cold despite the warmth of the lights above. Olivia Rodriguez lay in the hospital bed, her body trembling from exhaustion, her dark brown skin glistening with sweat. She held her newborn daughter against her chest, feeling the tiny heartbeat that somehow made everything real. The baby had come early at 36 weeks and Olivia hadn't been ready. Not emotionally, not practically, not in any way that mattered. "Ms. Rodriguez, we need to complete some paperwork," the nurse said gently, approaching with a clipboard. She was an older woman with kind eyes, wearing bright pink scrubs. "We need information about the father for the birth certificate." Olivia's throat tightened. The father. What was she supposed to say? That her ex-husband Derek wasn't the father? That she had gotten pregnant after leaving him, during a brief relationship that ended when the man disappeared the moment she mentioned pregnancy? That she was completely alone in this world, with no family, no support, nothing but the tiny life in her arms? Olivia's voice cracked. She looked down at her daughter's perfect face, at the small features and the way her little mouth moved in sleep. This baby deserved better than lies. Better than shame. Better than a mother too scared to tell the truth. "The father is Tyler Bennett," Olivia heard herself say, the words coming out before she could stop them. The nurse's eyebrows rose slightly. "Tyler Bennett? As in the technology company owner?" Olivia nodded, tears streaming down her face. She knew what she was doing was complicated, possibly wrong, but Tyler Bennett was the only man in her entire life who had ever treated her with genuine respect and kindness. During the 2 years she worked as his executive assistant, he had been patient, encouraging, and kind. He never yelled, never belittled her, never made her feel small. When her marriage to Derek had started falling apart, Tyler had noticed her distress and quietly offered her resources for counseling, time off when she needed it, and steady support without asking invasive questions. "Ma'am, are you certain?" "We'll need to contact him," the nurse said carefully. "Yes," Olivia whispered, knowing she was about to turn Tyler's life upside down. "Please call him. Tell him Olivia needs help. He'll understand." The nurse nodded and left the room. Olivia clutched her daughter closer, feeling the weight of what she had just done. Tyler would be confused, maybe even angry. She hadn't worked for him in 8 months, not since Derek had forced her to quit her job, claiming that working for another man was disrespectful to their marriage. She had lost touch with Tyler completely during those final months with Derek, when her ex-husband had isolated her from everyone. Now she was lying in a hospital bed, having just named a man who wasn't biologically her daughter's father as the father on hospital records. But as Olivia looked at her baby's face, she felt a strange sense of peace. If there was anyone in this world who would understand, who might help her without judgment, it was Tyler Bennett. 30 minutes later, a different nurse entered the room, this one wearing bright red scrubs. "Ms. Rodriguez? We've contacted Mr. Bennett. He's on his way to the hospital right now." Olivia's heart pounded. "He is?" "Yes, ma'am. He said to tell you he'll be here within the hour." The nurse checked Olivia's vitals, her movements efficient and professional. "Your blood pressure is still a bit low. How are you feeling?" "Tired," Olivia admitted. "So tired." "That's normal after delivery, especially with the circumstances." The nurse adjusted Olivia's fore. "Is there anyone else we should call? Family members?" Olivia shook her head. Her parents had passed away in a car accident when she was 19. She had no siblings, no aunts or uncles nearby. Derek's family had never accepted her, and she had lost contact with her friends during her marriage, pushed away by Derek's controlling behavior and her own shame. "No," she said quietly. "There's no one else." The nurse's expression softened with sympathy. "Well, you're not alone now. You have this beautiful baby girl." After the nurse left, Olivia sat in silence, watching her daughter sleep. The baby's name was Grace. Olivia had decided on that name months ago, during one of her darkest moments. She needed grace in her life. Mercy. A fresh start. The minutes ticked by slowly. Olivia tried to prepare herself for Tyler's arrival, for the confusion and questions that would surely come. What would she say to him? How could she explain that she had named him as her daughter's father when he had no biological connection to the child? That she had listed him because, in her desperate state, she couldn't think of anyone else who represented safety and goodness? She must have dozed off because the next thing she knew, there was a soft knock on the door. Olivia's eyes flew open, her arms instinctively tightening around Grace. The door opened slowly and there he was. Tyler Bennett stood in the doorway, tall and handsome, his dark blonde hair slightly disheveled as if he had run his hands through it repeatedly. He wore a navy blue suit, clearly having come straight from work, but his tie was loosened and his expression was a mixture of concern and confusion. His green eyes found hers immediately. "Olivia," he said, his voice gentle. He stepped into the room, closing the door behind him. "What's going on?" "The hospital called and said you listed me as the father of your baby." Olivia's eyes filled with tears again. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Tyler. I shouldn't have put your name down. I didn't know what else to do." Tyler crossed the room quickly, pulling a chair close to her bedside. He sat down, leaning forward, his full attention on her. "Hey, it's okay. Just tell me what's happening. Are you all right? Is the baby okay?" "She came early," Olivia said, her voice shaking. "Grace. I named her Grace. She's healthy but small. 5 pounds, 3 ounces. Tyler glanced at the baby in Olivia's arms, and his expression softened immediately. "She's beautiful," he said quietly. Then he looked back at Olivia, his eyes searching her face. "But I need to understand. I'm not actually her father, am I?" "No," Olivia whispered, shame washing over her. "You're not. I know this is crazy. I know I shouldn't have listed you. But when they asked for the father's name, I panicked. Derek isn't her father either. I left him 8 months ago and then I met someone else and—" She trailed off, unable to continue. "And he left when you told him about the pregnancy," Tyler finished, his jaw tightening. Olivia nodded. "I'm completely alone, Tyler. No family, no friends. Derek made me push everyone away during our marriage, and after I left him, I was too ashamed to reach out to anyone. When they asked for the father's information today, you were the only person I could think of who ever made me feel safe. Who ever treated me like I mattered." Tyler was quiet for a long moment, his gaze moving between Olivia and baby Grace. The silence stretched, and Olivia braced herself for rejection, for anger, for Tyler to stand up and walk away from this mess she had created. Instead, Tyler reached out and gently touched Grace's tiny hand. The baby's fingers curled instinctively around his finger, and something shifted in Tyler's expression. "Okay," he said simply. Olivia blinked. "Okay. Okay," Tyler repeated, looking up at her. "You need help and I'm going to help you. We'll figure out the details later, but right now what matters is that you and Grace are safe and cared for." "Tyler, you don't have to do this," Olivia protested, even as relief flooded through her. "This isn't your responsibility. I shouldn't have dragged you into this." "You didn't drag me anywhere," Tyler said firmly. "You reached out for help and I'm choosing to give it. That's how this works, Olivia. When someone needs help, you help them. No questions, no conditions." Olivia stared at him, unable to believe what she was hearing. In her experience, help always came with strings attached. Derek had helped her by paying their bills, but used it to control every aspect of her life. Her ex-boyfriend had promised to help with the baby, then vanished. Even well-meaning people usually helped only when it was convenient, only when it didn't cost them too much. But here was Tyler Bennett, a billionaire with 1,000 other things he could be doing, sitting in a hospital room at 8 o'clock at night, promising to help a former employee who had just complicated his life in the most bizarre way possible. "I don't understand," Olivia said, tears flowing freely now. "Why would you do this?" Tyler smiled, a gentle expression that reached his eyes. "Because it's the right thing to do. Because you deserve help. Because this little girl deserves a good start in life." He paused, his thumb gently stroking Grace's hand. "And because, honestly, I always respected you, Olivia. You were an incredible assistant, smart and capable and kind. When you quit so suddenly, I worried about you. I suspected things weren't good at home, but I didn't want to overstep. Derek made me quit," Olivia admitted. "He said working for another man was inappropriate." Tyler's expression darkened. "That should have been your choice, not his." "I know that now," Olivia said quietly. "I know a lot of things now that I didn't understand then." A nurse entered, this one wearing bright green scrubs. "Ms. Rodriguez, I need to take Grace to the nursery for some routine checks. We'll bring her back in about an hour." Olivia hesitated, not wanting to let her daughter go, but Tyler spoke up. "It's okay. They need to make sure she's healthy. You should rest." Reluctantly, Olivia handed Grace to the nurse, watching as her daughter was wheeled away in a small plastic bassinet. Once they were alone again, Olivia felt suddenly vulnerable. Without the baby to focus on, she was acutely aware of how she must look, exhausted and weak, her natural hair pulled back in a messy bun, her body aching. "Have you eaten?" Tyler asked, breaking the silence. Olivia shook her head. "I'm not hungry." "You need to eat," Tyler said, pulling out his phone. "What sounds good?" "Tyler, you don't need to." "Olivia," he interrupted gently but firmly, Let me help. Please. What would you like to eat? Olivia thought about arguing, about insisting she was fine, about maintaining her pride. But she was so tired, so hungry, so overwhelmed. And Tyler was offering help without judgment, without demands. Soup, she said finally. Maybe some bread. Tyler nodded and started making calls. Within 20 minutes, food arrived, delivered by a restaurant service. Tyler set up the meal on Olivia's bedside table, adjusting it so she could reach everything easily. Eat, he said. I'm going to talk to the nurses about your discharge plan. Tyler, Olivia called as he moved toward the door. He turned back, eyebrows raised. Thank you. Really. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Tyler's expression softened. You don't need to repay me, Olivia. That's not how kindness works. After he left, Olivia ate slowly, each spoonful of soup making her feel a little more human. She thought about Tyler's words about kindness without conditions. It was a foreign concept, something she had read about but never truly experienced in her adult life. When Tyler returned 30 minutes later, he pulled the chair close again. Okay, here's what I learned. They want to keep you and Grace for at least 2 more days to monitor both of you. After that, you'll be discharged. Do you have somewhere to go? Olivia's stomach dropped. She had been avoiding thinking about this question. I have a small apartment about an hour from here. But She trailed off, embarrassed. But what? Tyler prompted gently. I lost my job 3 months ago, Olivia admitted. I've been living off my savings, but they're almost gone. I can probably make rent this month, but after that. She couldn't finish the sentence, couldn't voice the terrifying reality that she might be homeless with a newborn. Tyler was quiet for a moment, his expression thoughtful. Then he leaned forward, his green eyes serious. Come stay with me. Olivia's eyes widened. What? Come stay at my penthouse, Tyler repeated. I have plenty of space. You and Grace can have your own wing, complete privacy. You won't have to worry about rent or bills or anything. You can just focus on recovering and taking care of Grace. Tyler, I can't do that, Olivia protested, even as hope bloomed in her chest. That's too much. Living in your home? That's practical, Tyler interrupted. Look, Olivia, I know this is unusual. I know it's a lot to ask. But think about it logically. You're alone, recovering from childbirth, with a premature baby who will need careful monitoring. You have no support system, no family, and limited finances. I have a large home, resources, and the ability to help. Why wouldn't we do this? Because people will talk, Olivia said. Your reputation. Tyler laughed, a genuine sound that filled the room. Olivia, I appreciate your concern, but I don't care what people think. My reputation is built on how I treat people and how I run my business, not on what gossips say about my personal life. But your family, your friends, will understand once I explain the situation, Tyler said confidently. And if they don't, that's their problem, not mine. Olivia stared at him, trying to find the catch, the hidden agenda. But Tyler's expression remained open and honest. He genuinely wanted to help, with no strings attached. I don't know what to say, Olivia whispered. Say yes, Tyler said simply. Let me help you. Let me give you and Grace a safe place to heal and grow. You can stay as long as you need to, whether that's weeks, months, or longer. No pressure, no expectations. Olivia looked down at her hands, at the hospital bracelet around her wrist. She thought about her tiny apartment, barely furnished, with no support system nearby. She thought about trying to manage on her own with a premature baby, with no money, no job, no backup plan. And then she thought about Tyler's offer. Safety, security, help without judgment. Could you really turn down help when your baby's future depends on it? When someone offers kindness with open hands, isn't refusing it just another form of pride? Drop a comment below telling me what you would do in Olivia's situation, and don't forget to subscribe for the next chapter. She raised her eyes to meet Tyler's. Yes, she said, her voice stronger than she felt. Yes, I'll accept your help. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you so much. Tyler smiled, a warm expression that made his whole face light up. Good. Now let's work out the details. When Grace comes back, I want to meet her properly. And tomorrow, I'll start making arrangements to get your things from your apartment and set up the nursery at my place. You don't have to do all that, Olivia started, but Tyler held up a hand. I want to, he said firmly. This is happening, Olivia. You and Grace are going to be safe and cared for. Just accept it. So Olivia did. For the first time in her adult life, she accepted help without shame, without trying to minimize her needs, without apologizing for existing. She let Tyler Bennett, her former boss and the kindest man she had ever known, step into the chaos of her life and offer the one thing she needed most: hope. When the nurse brought Grace back an hour later, Tyler stood and carefully took the baby from the nurse's arms. He held Grace with surprising confidence, supporting her head and cradling her gently against his chest. The baby stirred slightly but didn't wake. "Hello, Grace," Tyler said softly. "I'm Tyler. I'm going to help take care of you and your mama. You're going to be just fine, little one. Better than fine. You're going to be loved." Olivia watched through tears as Tyler gently rocked her daughter, his expression tender and protective. In that moment, she understood that this wasn't just about charity or obligation. Tyler genuinely cared. He was choosing to step into their lives not because he had to, but because he wanted to. Maybe, Olivia thought as sleep finally began to claim her, maybe kindness really could exist without conditions. Maybe some people really were as good as they seemed. And maybe, just maybe, she and Grace were going to be okay after all. The next morning, Olivia woke to sunlight streaming through the hospital window and the sound of soft voices. She blinked, momentarily disoriented, before reality came flooding back. The birth, Tyler's arrival, his offer of help. A nurse in bright yellow scrubs was checking her vitals while Tyler sat in the corner of the room, Grace sleeping peacefully in his arms. He had changed clothes at some point, now wearing dark jeans and a green sweater that made his eyes stand out. "Good morning," Tyler said when he noticed Olivia was awake. "How are you feeling?" "Sore," Olivia admitted, shifting carefully in the bed. "How long have you been here?" "I went home around midnight, grabbed some things and came back around 6, Tyler said. "Grace woke up hungry, so the nurses showed me how to give her a bottle." "I hope that was okay." Olivia's eyes widened. "You fed her?" "I did," Tyler said with a small smile. "She's got quite an appetite for such a tiny thing." The nurse finished her checks and made some notes on her tablet. "Everything looks good, Ms. Rodriguez. Your blood pressure is improving. The doctor will be by later this morning to discuss your discharge plan." After the nurse left, Tyler carefully stood and brought Grace to Olivia. "Here's your mama, little one." Olivia took her daughter, breathing in that sweet baby smell. Grace's eyes opened briefly, unfocused and dark, before closing again. "She's perfect," Olivia whispered. "She is," Tyler agreed, settling back into his chair. "I've been making some calls this morning. I have a team coming to your apartment today to pack your things. Just give me your address and key and they'll handle everything." "Tyler, that's too much." "It's efficient," Tyler corrected. "You need to rest and focus on Grace. Let other people handle the logistics." Olivia wanted to argue, to insist she could manage on her own, but the truth was she couldn't. The thought of trying to pack up her apartment while recovering from childbirth, with a newborn to care for, was overwhelming. "Okay," she said quietly. "Thank you." Tyler pulled out his phone and opened a notes app. "What do you need from the apartment? Everything, or are there things you want to leave behind?" "Everything, I guess," Olivia said. "I don't have much. Some clothes, books, kitchen supplies. My laptop. There's a crib I bought still in the box. Some baby clothes and supplies." Tyler nodded, typing quickly. "Got it. What about furniture?" "Just a bed, a small dresser and a bookshelf," Olivia said. "The apartment came furnished otherwise." "We'll store your furniture," Tyler said. "You might want it eventually, or you can sell it if you decide you don't need it." The morning passed quickly. A lactation consultant came by to help Olivia with breastfeeding, offering tips and encouragement. Tyler stepped out to give them privacy, returning an hour later with coffee and breakfast sandwiches. "I wasn't sure what you liked, so I got a variety," he said, setting the bags on the bedside table. Olivia selected a breakfast sandwich with eggs and cheese, her stomach growling at the smell. "This is great, thank you." They ate in comfortable silence, Grace sleeping in the bassinet beside the bed. Olivia studied Tyler as he ate, noting the dark circles under his eyes. He must be exhausted, yet he showed no signs of leaving. "Tyler," she said carefully, "you don't have to stay here all day. I'm sure you have work to do." Tyler shrugged. "I've been working remotely. Answered emails between Grace's feedings, had a video conference while you were with the lactation consultant. It's fine. But your company will survive without me being physically present for a few days," Tyler said firmly. "I have an excellent team. They can handle things." The doctor arrived around noon, a woman with silver hair and bright red glasses. She examined Olivia thoroughly, asking questions about pain levels and checking the incision from the C-section. "You're healing well," the doctor said, making notes. I think we can discharge you tomorrow morning instead of waiting another full day. You'll need to take it easy for the next 6 weeks. No lifting anything heavier than the baby, no strenuous activity. Do you have help at home? She does, Tyler spoke up before Olivia could answer. She'll be staying with me and I'll make sure she has everything she needs. The doctor looked between them, her expression curious but professional. That's good. New mothers need support, especially with premature babies. Grace is doing wonderfully, by the way. Her weight is stable and all her tests are coming back normal. We'll do one more check tomorrow morning, but I expect she'll be cleared to go home with you. After the doctor left, Olivia felt a mixture of relief and anxiety. Tomorrow she would leave the hospital and move into Tyler's penthouse. It was really happening. Are you sure about this? She asked Tyler. Once I move in, it's going to be hard to go back. Grace and I will disrupt your whole life. Tyler met her eyes steadily. I'm sure, Olivia. Stop second-guessing this. You need help, I can provide it, so we're doing it. End of discussion. That afternoon, Tyler's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and smiled. It's my sister. Do you mind if I take this? Of course not, Olivia said. Tyler answered, putting the phone on speaker. Hey, Rebecca. Tyler, what's this I hear about you having a baby? A woman's voice came through, amused and curious. Tyler laughed. News travels fast. It's complicated. I'm at the hospital right now with Olivia Rodriguez, who used to be my executive assistant. She just had a baby and she needs help. She's going to stay at my place for a while. There was a pause. Tyler, you're not the father, are you? Because if you are and you didn't tell me you were seeing someone, I'm going to be seriously annoyed. I'm not the biological father, Tyler said. But I'm going to help Olivia and baby Grace anyway. Long story, but the short version is she's alone and needs support. That sounds like you, Rebecca said warmly. Always collecting strays. Rebecca, Tyler said warningly. I'm kidding. Sort of. Rebecca's voice softened. Seriously though, this is really kind of you. Does Olivia need anything? I'd love to help. Olivia spoke up, feeling brave. Hi, Rebecca. I'm Olivia. I'm here listening. Oh, hi, Rebecca said, sounding slightly embarrassed. I didn't realize Tyler had me on speaker. Welcome to the chaos of the Bennett family. Fair warning, we're all nosy and we love getting involved in each other's business. I appreciate any help, Olivia said honestly. This is all very new and overwhelming. Well, I'm coming by the hospital tomorrow before you're discharged, Rebecca declared. I want to meet you and Grace properly. And I'm bringing supplies. What do you need? Tyler and Rebecca talked for another few minutes, discussing practical matters. When Tyler hung up, he turned to Olivia. Rebecca's great. You'll like her. She's a pediatrician actually, so she'll be a good resource. Your whole family is going to think I'm taking advantage of you, Olivia said quietly. They won't, Tyler said confidently. And even if they did, which they won't, I wouldn't care. I make my own decisions. The rest of the day passed in a blur of feedings, diaper changes, and visitors checking Olivia's progress. By evening, Olivia was exhausted but felt stronger than she had that morning. Tyler ordered dinner from a nearby restaurant, making sure Olivia had nutritious food. As night fell, a nurse came in with forms. Ms. Rodriguez, we need to finalize the birth certificate. You listed Tyler Bennett as the father yesterday. Is that still your intention? Olivia glanced at Tyler, uncertain. Tyler stood and approached the nurse. Can I speak with you outside for a moment? They stepped into the hallway and Olivia could see them talking through the window, though she couldn't hear the conversation. After a few minutes, Tyler returned alone. I talked to the nurse, he said sitting down. Here's what I think we should do. We leave the birth certificate as is for now, with me listed as the father. It protects you legally, makes sure Derek can't come back and try to claim rights. Later, if you want to change it, we can. But for now, this keeps things simple. But that's lying, Olivia protested. It's protecting your daughter, Tyler countered. Derek was abusive. Even though he's not Grace's biological father either, men like him sometimes try to assert control any way they can. This prevents that. Olivia thought about Derek, about his controlling nature and his temper. Tyler was right. If Derek found out about Grace, he might try to use her as a way to get back into Olivia's life, regardless of biology. Okay, she agreed. We'll leave it as is. Tyler nodded and went back into the hall to tell the nurse. When he returned, he settled into the chair that was becoming his permanent spot. You should go home, Olivia said. Sleep in a real bed. I'll be fine here. I'm staying, Tyler said simply. The chair reclines and I've slept in worse places. Tyler. Olivia, he interrupted gently. Let me be here. I want to be here. So Olivia stopped arguing. When Grace woke for her midnight feeding, Tyler was there, warming the bottle and changing the diaper with increasing confidence. When Olivia struggled to get comfortable at 3 in the morning, Tyler adjusted her pillows and brought fresh water. When dawn broke and Olivia felt overwhelmed by the reality of her new life, Tyler was there with steady reassurance. The next morning, true to her word, Rebecca Bennett arrived at the hospital. She was tall like her brother, with the same green eyes but darker hair pulled back in a ponytail. She wore bright blue scrubs and carried several large bags. You must be Olivia, Rebecca said warmly, setting down her bags to shake Olivia's hand. I'm Rebecca. And where's this little angel I keep hearing about? Tyler carefully lifted Grace from the bassinet. Rebecca's entire demeanor softened as she looked at the baby. Oh, she's beautiful. Look at those tiny fingers. Do you want to hold her? Olivia offered. Would I? Rebecca said, accepting Grace with practiced ease. She examined the baby with a pediatrician's eye while maintaining a gentle touch. She looks great. Good color, alert, responsive. You're doing a wonderful job, Olivia. The praise brought tears to Olivia's eyes. Thank you. I'm trying. That's all anyone can do, Rebecca said. She spent the next hour with them, offering advice and support. She had brought clothes for Olivia and Grace, practical items like nursing pads and baby blankets, and even some snacks. When the doctor came by for the final discharge check, she cleared both Olivia and Grace to go home. Tyler immediately went into action, coordinating with the nurses, arranging for a car seat, making sure all the paperwork was complete. Have you ever installed a car seat before? Rebecca asked her brother with amusement. I watched 3 YouTube videos last night, Tyler replied, completely serious. I've got this. 2 hours later, Olivia sat in the back of Tyler's car, Grace secured in a brand new car seat beside her. Tyler drove carefully, checking his mirrors constantly. Rebecca followed in her own car, planning to help them get settled. As they drove through the city, Olivia watched the buildings pass by. She was leaving the hospital as a mother, going to live with a man she barely knew outside of work, with no clear plan for the future. It should have been terrifying. Instead, watching Tyler concentrate on driving safely, seeing the protective way he glanced at Grace in the rearview mirror, Olivia felt something she hadn't felt in years: safe. Whatever came next, whatever challenges lay ahead, she wouldn't face them alone. Tyler Bennett had stepped into her life at the exact moment she needed someone most, and he had done so without hesitation, without judgment, without expecting anything in return. Maybe this was what kindness really looked like. Maybe this was what it meant to be truly helped, not controlled or manipulated, but genuinely supported. As Tyler pulled into the underground parking of a sleek high-rise building, Olivia took a deep breath. This was her new life beginning. And for the first time in years, she felt a spark of genuine hope for the future. Tyler's penthouse occupied the entire top floor of the building, and when the elevator doors opened directly into his home, Olivia's breath caught. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered sweeping views of the city, natural light flooding the space. The decor was modern but warm, with comfortable furniture in shades of blue and gray, and artwork that added personality without being pretentious. Welcome home, Tyler said, stepping aside so Olivia could enter with Grace. Rebecca had already arrived, having used her key to let herself in. She was in the kitchen, unpacking groceries. I stopped and got some essentials, she called out. Formula, diapers, easy meals for Olivia. Your fridge was embarrassingly empty, Tyler. I eat out a lot, Tyler defended himself, grinning. Olivia stood in the entryway, holding Grace, feeling overwhelmed by the sheer luxury of the space. Her entire apartment could have fit in Tyler's living room alone. Let me show you to your rooms, Tyler said, noticing her stunned expression. He led her down a hallway to the left, opening double doors to reveal a spacious bedroom decorated in soft green tones. A king-size bed dominated the space, with a sitting area by the window and an attached bathroom visible through another doorway. This is beautiful, Olivia breathed. And next door, Tyler said, walking to a connecting door, is the nursery. He opened the door and Olivia gasped. The room had been completely transformed. The walls were painted a gentle yellow, and a white crib sat against one wall, already assembled and dressed with soft bedding. A changing table, a rocking chair, a dresser, all perfectly arranged. Shelves held books and toys, and a mobile of stars and moons hung above the crib. When did you do this? Olivia asked, tears forming in her eyes. I had a team come in yesterday, Tyler said. I hope it's okay. If you want to change anything, we can. It's perfect, Olivia whispered. She walked into the room, running her hand over the smooth wood of the crib. Tyler, this is too much. It's just right, Tyler corrected. He reached out and gently touched Grace's head. Every baby deserves a beautiful space. Rebecca appeared in the doorway. Wow, big brother. You really went all out. This is gorgeous. I had help, Tyler admitted. The interior designer I use for the office helped me pull it together quickly. The three of them stood in the nursery, looking at the sleeping baby in Olivia's arms. The moment felt significant, like a threshold being crossed, a new chapter truly beginning. Why don't you rest? Rebecca suggested to Olivia. Tyler and I will handle Grace for a bit. You need to recover. I should stay with her, Olivia protested. You need sleep, Rebecca said firmly, using her doctor voice. Tyler and I are both capable adults. We'll bring Grace to you when she needs to feed. But right now, you need to take care of yourself. Reluctantly, Olivia agreed. Tyler took Grace, handling her with increasing confidence, and Olivia retreated to the bedroom. She hadn't realized how exhausted she was until she lay down on the incredibly comfortable bed. Within minutes, she was asleep. She woke 3 hours later to sunlight streaming through the windows and the sound of soft voices. For a moment, she panicked, disoriented by the unfamiliar room. Then memory returned, Tyler's penthouse, the nursery, Rebecca helping. Olivia got up carefully, her body still sore, and followed the voices to the living room. Tyler sat on the couch with Grace on his chest, the baby sleeping peacefully. Rebecca sat beside him, both of them talking quietly while Tyler worked on his laptop with one hand. You're good at this, Rebecca was saying. The whole baby thing. You seem completely natural. It's not that complicated, Tyler replied. Babies need to be fed, changed, and held. I can manage that. Most men would be terrified, Rebecca pointed out. Tyler shrugged, careful not to disturb Grace. I don't see why. She's just a tiny person who needs help. What's scary about that? Rebecca noticed Olivia standing in the doorway. Hey, you're up. Feeling better? Much better, Olivia said, walking into the room. Thank you for watching her. Our pleasure, Tyler said, smiling. She's been an angel. Ate about an hour ago, had a diaper change, and has been sleeping since. Olivia sat in a chair across from them, marveling at how comfortable Tyler looked with her daughter. Many men would have been awkward or hesitant, but Tyler held Grace like it was the most natural thing in the world. Over the next few days they established a routine. Tyler worked from home, taking video calls from his office down the hall while remaining available whenever Olivia needed help. Rebecca stopped by daily, checking on both Olivia and Grace, offering medical advice and emotional support. A nurse Tyler had hired came by twice a day to check Olivia's incision and monitor Grace's weight gain. Slowly Olivia began to relax. The constant state of anxiety she had lived in for so long started to ease. She could focus on Grace without worrying about money or safety or whether she had enough formula. Everything was provided, not grudgingly but generously. One evening, about a week after moving in, Olivia was rocking Grace in the nursery when Tyler knocked softly on the doorframe. Hey, he said quietly. How's she doing? Good, Olivia replied. She gained 3 ounces this week. The nurse said that's excellent for a preemie. Tyler smiled, walking into the room. That's great. He hesitated, then said, I wanted to talk to you about something. No pressure, just a thought. Okay, Olivia said, curious. I was thinking about your degree, Tyler began. You told me once that you were working on a business degree but had to stop when you got married. Would you want to finish it? Olivia's heart leaped. I would love to, but Tyler, I can't ask you to pay for my education on top of everything else. You're not asking, I'm offering, Tyler said. Think about it practically. You're going to be here anyway taking care of Grace. Why not use this time to finish your degree? You can do it online, work at your own pace. It would give you options for the future, career opportunities. But the cost is irrelevant, Tyler interrupted. Olivia, I have more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. Helping you get your degree is nothing to me financially, but it could change your entire life. Let me do this. Olivia looked down at Grace, thinking. She had always wanted to finish her degree, had dreams of a real career, of being independent and successful. Derek had crushed those dreams, convinced her she didn't need education because he would take care of her. After the divorce, she had been too focused on survival to think about long-term goals. Yes, she said finally, meeting Tyler's eyes. Yes, I would like to finish my degree. Thank you, Tyler. For everything. Tyler's smile was warm. Good. I'll have my assistant help you with enrollment. Classes can start next month if you want, or you can wait until you feel more settled. Next month sounds good, Olivia said. I want to move forward with my life. That's the spirit, Tyler said. He reached out and gently touched Grace's cheek. Your mama is going to be a college graduate, little one. She's going to show you that it's never too late to chase your dreams. The weeks passed in a gentle rhythm. Olivia adjusted to motherhood with Tyler's constant support. He woke for middle-of-the-night feedings without complaint, handled diaper changes with efficiency, and seemed genuinely happy to have them there. Rebecca became a close friend, stopping by several times a week to check on them and offer companionship. One afternoon, about 3 weeks after moving in, Olivia was studying in the living room while Grace napped. Tyler had been in his office all morning on video calls. When he emerged, he looked tired but pleased. Big meeting? Olivia asked, closing her textbook. Yeah, we just closed a major deal, Tyler said, stretching. Which means a lot of expansion over the next few months. That's great, Olivia said. Congratulations. Tyler poured himself coffee and joined her on the couch. How's the studying going? Good, Olivia replied. I forgot how much I enjoy learning. This economics course is fascinating. They talked for a while about her classes, about business concepts and theories. Tyler was genuinely interested, asking questions and offering insights from his own experience. The conversation flowed naturally, easily, the way it used to when Olivia worked for him. I miss this, Tyler said suddenly. Miss what? Olivia asked. Talking with you, Tyler said. When you were my assistant, I always enjoyed our conversations. You have a sharp mind, Olivia. I was sorry to lose you when you quit. I'm sorry I left the way I did, Olivia said. Derek was, he made things difficult. You don't have to explain, Tyler said gently. I understand controlling relationships. My father was similar with my mother when I was growing up. It took her years to leave him. Olivia hadn't known that about Tyler's family. I'm sorry. It taught me a lot about how not to treat people, Tyler said. How important respect and kindness are in any relationship, whether personal or professional. Grace's cry came through the baby monitor, and Olivia started to stand, but Tyler waved her down. I'll get her. You keep studying. Olivia watched Tyler walk toward the nursery, marveling at how her life had changed in just a few weeks. She had gone from desperate and alone to supported and hopeful. She had a safe home, medical care, support, and now the opportunity to finish her education. All because one man had chosen to help without expecting anything in return. When Tyler returned with Grace, the baby awake and alert, Olivia held out her arms. Thank you, she said as he transferred Grace to her. For what? Tyler asked. For everything, Olivia said simply. For changing my life. For showing me that good people really do exist. Tyler's expression softened. You're welcome, Olivia. But you should know you've changed my life too. How? Olivia asked, surprised. Tyler thought for a moment before answering. This place always felt empty before. I worked all the time, came home late, slept, and repeated the cycle. It was lonely, even though I didn't want to admit it. Having you and Grace here has made this feel like a home instead of just a place to sleep. Olivia felt warmth spread through her chest. We're happy to be here. Good, Tyler said, smiling. Because I'm not ready for you to leave anytime soon. That night, after Grace was asleep and Tyler had retired to his own room, Olivia stood by the nursery window, looking out at the city lights. She thought about how far she had come, about the journey from that desperate moment in the hospital to this peaceful evening. She thought about Tyler's kindness, Rebecca's friendship, and the opportunities opening up before her. For the first time in years, Olivia felt like herself again. Not Derek's wife, not a victim, not someone just surviving. She was Olivia Rodriguez, a mother, a student, a person with a future worth looking forward to. And she had Tyler Bennett to thank for helping her remember who she could be. 2 months after moving into Tyler's penthouse, Olivia had settled into a comfortable routine. Grace was thriving, growing stronger every day, her premature start becoming less evident as she gained weight and hit developmental milestones. Olivia's classes were going well, her grades excellent, her confidence growing. It was a quiet Saturday evening. Rebecca had taken Grace for a few hours, insisting that Olivia needed a break. Tyler was home, having turned down a dinner invitation to stay in. They ordered takeout and ate together in the living room, talking about everything and nothing. Rebecca really loves Grace, Olivia commented, watching Tyler serve himself from the containers of Chinese food spread on the coffee table. She does, Tyler agreed. She's been talking about having kids herself, but she wants to wait until she finds the right partner. What about you? Olivia asked, then immediately regretted the personal question. Sorry, that's too nosy. No, it's fine, Tyler said. Honestly, I always wanted kids, but I was married to my work. Figured I'd get around to personal life eventually. He smiled at Olivia. Having Grace here has been great though. Makes me think about what I want my future to look like. They ate in comfortable silence for a while. Olivia noticed Tyler had been more relaxed lately, smiling more, seeming less stressed. Living with them had changed him too, she realized. He came home earlier from the office, prioritized evening time with them, and seemed genuinely happy. Tyler, Olivia said softly, I need to tell you something. He looked up from his food, his green eyes attentive. Okay. Olivia took a deep breath. She had been carrying this story for so long, had kept the full truth buried. But Tyler deserved to know. He had done so much for her without knowing the complete picture. I need to tell you about Derek, she began. About my marriage, about why I really listed you as Grace's father. Tyler set down his food and gave her his complete attention. I'm listening. Olivia gathered her courage and started talking. She told him about meeting Derek at a work conference 5 years ago, how charming he had seemed initially. She explained how the charm had slowly turned to control after their marriage. How Derek had isolated her from friends, monitored her phone, criticized everything she did. He didn't hit me, Olivia clarified. But he was cruel in other ways. He would tell me I was stupid, that I was lucky he married me because no one else would want me. He controlled all our money, made me quit my job with you, told me I needed to be home being a proper wife. Tyler's jaw tightened, but he remained quiet, letting her talk. Olivia continued, explaining how she had finally gathered the courage to leave after Derek had thrown her laptop across the room during an argument about her wanting to finish her degree. She had packed a bag while he was at work and left, moving into the small apartment. The divorce was quick because I didn't ask for anything, Olivia said. I just wanted out. I found a job at a retail store, barely making minimum wage, but I was free. And then you met someone, Tyler prompted gently. Olivia nodded, shame washing over her. His name was Michael. He seemed nice at first. We dated for a few months. When I told him I was pregnant, he just disappeared. Blocked my number, moved out of his apartment. I never saw him again. That's horrible, Tyler said, anger clear in his voice. I was alone and scared, Olivia continued. Pregnant, barely making rent, no family, no real friends because I had pushed them all away during my marriage. She looked up at Tyler, tears in her eyes. When I went into labor early and they asked for the father's name, I panicked. I couldn't put Michael because I didn't even know his real last name. I couldn't put Derek because he wasn't the father and he's dangerous. And then I thought of you. Why me? Tyler asked softly. Because you were the only man who ever treated me with respect, Olivia said, the words tumbling out. When I worked for you, you never yelled, never belittled me, never made me feel small. When I was struggling with my marriage, you noticed and offered help without being intrusive. You gave me time off when I needed it, resources for counseling, and you never asked for details I wasn't ready to share. She wiped her tears, continuing. During those 2 years I worked for you, I used to think about how different my life would be if I had met you before Derek. If I had known men could be kind and respectful. When they asked for the father's name in that hospital room, I thought about who I wished could be Grace's father. And it was you, Tyler. It was always you. Tyler was quiet for a long moment, processing everything she had told him. Olivia held her breath, terrified she had revealed too much, scared he would be angry or feel manipulated. Finally, Tyler spoke. Thank you for trusting me with this. Olivia blinked, surprised. You're not angry? Why would I be angry? Tyler asked. You were in an impossible situation. You made the best choice you could with the information you had. I'm honored actually that you thought of me. But I complicated your life, Olivia protested. I dragged you into this mess without asking. Tyler leaned forward, his expression serious. Olivia, listen to me. You didn't drag me into anything. You reached out for help and I chose to respond. Every decision I've made since that phone call has been my choice. Moving you in here, helping with Grace, paying for your education, all of it. I'm doing this because I want to, not because I feel obligated. But why? Olivia asked, the question that had been haunting her. Why would you do all this for someone who's basically a stranger? You're not a stranger, Tyler said gently. You worked for me for 2 years. I got to know you during that time, saw how smart and capable you were, how kind you were to everyone in the office. I respected you then and I respect you now. He paused, then continued. And honestly, Olivia, helping you has been good for me too. I was lonely before you moved in. I worked constantly because I had nothing else to do. Having you and Grace here has reminded me that there's more to life than business deals and profit margins. You've given me purpose beyond work. Olivia felt tears streaming down her face. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Tyler replied. Just keep doing what you're doing. Take care of Grace, finish your degree, build the life you want. That's thanks enough. They sat in silence for a while, the weight of the conversation settling between them. Finally, Tyler spoke again. Can I tell you something? Of course, Olivia said. When you worked for me, I used to look forward to Monday mornings, Tyler admitted. Which is crazy because most people dread Mondays. But I knew you'd be there, cheerful and organized, making my chaotic schedule manageable. When you quit so suddenly, I missed you. Not just as an assistant, but as a person. Olivia's heart skipped. I missed working for you too. Those 2 years were some of the happiest of my adult life. Why didn't you reach out after you left Derek? Tyler asked. I would have helped you then. Pride mostly, Olivia admitted. And shame. I was embarrassed about my marriage, about letting someone control me like that. I thought you would judge me. I would never judge you for surviving, Tyler said firmly. Being in a controlling relationship doesn't make you weak, Olivia. Leaving makes you strong. Olivia felt something shift inside her. A knot of shame she had been carrying finally beginning to loosen. Thank you for saying that. It's the truth, Tyler said. He stood and moved to sit beside her on the couch, close but not touching. You're one of the strongest people I know. Everything you've been through, and you're still here, still fighting, still building a better life for yourself and Grace. That takes incredible courage. Olivia turned to look at him, really look at him. Tyler met her gaze steadily, his green eyes warm and honest. In that moment, Olivia realized something she had been trying to ignore. She had feelings for Tyler that went beyond gratitude. She was falling for him, for his kindness and strength, for the way he treated her daughter like she mattered, for the respect he showed her every single day. But that was dangerous territory. Tyler was helping her out of kindness, not because he had romantic interest. She couldn't risk ruining this arrangement, this safe haven he had created for her and Grace, by developing feelings. What are you thinking? Tyler asked, noticing her expression. Just grateful, Olivia said, which wasn't a lie. Grateful for everything you've done, for listening, for not judging. Tyler smiled. Always, Olivia. You can tell me anything. The sound of the elevator arriving interrupted them. Rebecca appeared moments later, carrying a sleeping Grace. She was an angel, Rebecca whispered. Fed her, changed her, and she fell asleep watching a baby show. I think she's officially the easiest baby in the world. Tyler stood and carefully took Grace from his sister. Thanks for watching her. Anytime, Rebecca said. She looked between Tyler and Olivia, something knowing in her expression. Did I interrupt something? Just talking, Tyler said casually, carrying Grace toward the nursery. After he left, Rebecca sat down beside Olivia. He's falling for you, you know? Olivia's eyes widened. What? No, he's just being kind. Rebecca laughed softly. I've known my brother his whole life. I've never seen him like this. The way he looks at you, the way he talks about you when you're not around. He's falling for you. Even if that were true, which I doubt, I can't act on it, Olivia said. I'm living in his house, dependent on his generosity. Any relationship would be built on unequal ground. So build equal ground, Rebecca suggested. Finish your degree, get a job, establish your independence. Then see where things go. Rebecca. I'm just saying, don't close yourself off to possibilities, Rebecca interrupted gently. Tyler is a good man. And you're a wonderful woman. If something develops between you naturally, don't fight it out of some misplaced sense of obligation or fear. After Rebecca left, Olivia sat alone in the living room, thinking about her words. Was Tyler really falling for her? And more importantly, what was she going to do about her own growing feelings? Tyler returned from the nursery and they cleaned up the dinner mess together. Working side by side in the kitchen, their movements synchronized from months of domestic routine, Olivia felt the rightness of it. This felt like a partnership, like a family. Olivia, Tyler said as they finished. I meant what I said earlier. You can tell me anything, anytime. I'm here for you always. I know, Olivia replied. And Tyler? I'm here for you too. This isn't just one-sided. I hope you know you can talk to me about anything as well. Tyler's smile was genuine and warm. I do know that. Thank you. That night, lying in bed with Grace sleeping peacefully in the nursery next door, Olivia thought about the conversation with Tyler. She had shared her full truth with him, exposed her vulnerabilities and mistakes, and he had responded with nothing but compassion and support. Maybe, she thought as sleep finally claimed her, maybe Rebecca was right. Maybe once she had established her independence, once the power dynamic had shifted, she could explore these feelings. Maybe there was room for love in this arrangement built on kindness. For now, though, she would focus on building herself up, on becoming the woman she wanted to be. And if, at the end of that journey, Tyler was still there, still interested, still that same kind and respectful man, then maybe they could become something more. Maybe kindness really could lead to love. Maybe hope really could lead to happiness. And maybe, just maybe, happy endings were possible even after the worst beginnings. 3 months into living with Tyler, Olivia felt like a different person. Grace was 4 months old now, healthy and happy, meeting all her developmental milestones. Olivia's classes were going well, with straight A grades, and she was on track to finish her degree within a year. Most importantly, she felt strong again, capable and confident in ways she hadn't been in years. Tyler continued to be supportive, but lately Olivia had noticed subtle shifts in their relationship. The way he smiled when she entered a room. The way their hands sometimes brushed when passing Grace between them, and neither pulled away quickly. The lingering glances across the dinner table. One morning, Olivia woke to find a note on the kitchen counter. Tyler had already left for an early meeting, but his message was simple: Rebecca's coming by at noon to watch Grace. You have a lunch meeting at 1 p.m. Address attached. Dress professionally. Trust me. Tyler. Olivia stared at the note, confused. A lunch meeting? For what? When Rebecca arrived as promised, she was grinning. Mystery lunch date, huh? It's not a date, Olivia protested. Tyler said it's a meeting. Whatever you say, Rebecca replied, taking Grace. But you should wear that red dress I helped you pick out last week. The one that makes you look like you could run a Fortune 500 company. Olivia did wear the red dress, pairing it with black heels and simple jewelry. She styled her natural hair in loose curls and applied minimal makeup. Looking in the mirror, she barely recognized herself. She looked professional, confident, powerful. The address Tyler had provided led to an upscale restaurant in the business district. When Olivia entered, the hostess immediately smiled. Ms. Rodriguez? Right this way. She was led to a private dining room where a woman in her 50s sat waiting, dressed impeccably in a navy suit. She stood when Olivia entered, extending her hand. Olivia Rodriguez? I'm Patricia Holmes, VP of Operations at Bennett Technologies. Olivia shook her hand, completely confused. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure why I'm here. Patricia smiled. Tyler didn't tell you? Typical. He wanted it to be a surprise. She gestured for Olivia to sit. I'm here to offer you a job. Olivia sat down slowly. A job? Yes, Patricia confirmed. Tyler tells me you're finishing your business degree and excelling in your classes. He also tells me you were an exceptional executive assistant before you left the company. We have an opening for a project coordinator in our operations department. It's entry-level for that division, but it comes with management responsibilities and growth potential. I don't understand, Olivia said. Tyler set this up? He recommended you highly, Patricia said. But I want to be clear, Olivia. This interview is real. Tyler can recommend people all day long, but I only hire based on merit. I've reviewed your work history, your academic record, and I'd like to hear from you directly about why you'd be a good fit for this position. Over the next hour, Patricia asked Olivia detailed questions about her experience, her goals, her understanding of business operations. Olivia answered honestly, drawing on her experience working for Tyler and her current coursework. Patricia was tough but fair, pushing Olivia to think critically and defend her ideas. By the end of the lunch, Patricia was smiling. You're impressive, Olivia. Tyler was right about you. I'd like to offer you the position with a starting salary of $75,000 a year, full benefits, and flexible hours so you can continue your education and care for your daughter. Olivia's jaw dropped. $75,000. That was more money than she had ever made in her life. Are you serious? Completely, Patricia said. We need smart, capable people like you. When can you start? I don't know what to say, Olivia stammered. Say yes, Patricia encouraged. Take the weekend to think about it if you need to, but I hope you'll accept. We'd be lucky to have you. Olivia left the restaurant in a daze. She drove back to Tyler's penthouse in shock, her mind spinning. A real job. A career track position with a salary that would allow her to be independent. When she arrived home, Rebecca and Tyler were in the living room with Grace. Tyler looked up as she entered, his expression hopeful. "How did it go?" "You set that up," Olivia said. "I recommended you," Tyler corrected. "Patricia made her own decision. So, did you get the offer?" "Yes," Olivia said, sinking onto the couch. "She offered me the position." "That's wonderful," Rebecca exclaimed. "Congratulations." Tyler was watching Olivia carefully. "You don't seem happy. What's wrong?" "I'm overwhelmed," Olivia admitted. "This is a huge opportunity, Tyler. But I don't know if I'm ready." "What about Grace? How do I manage a full-time job, school, and being a mom?" "The same way millions of other women do," Tyler said gently. "One day at a time. And you'll have help. Rebecca has already offered to provide childcare on days you need it. I have a friend who runs a high-quality daycare that offers flexible hours. And I'm here, Olivia. I'll help with Grace whenever you need." "But this changes everything," Olivia protested. "If I have my own income, I should move out, get my own place." Tyler's expression shifted, something unreadable crossing his face. "Is that what you want?" Olivia hesitated. The truth was she didn't want to move out. She loved living here, loved the life they had built together. But staying felt like taking advantage of Tyler's kindness. "What I want isn't the point," she said carefully. "You've been incredibly generous, but I need to stand on my own eventually." "Who says you're not standing on your own?" Rebecca interjected. "You're finishing your degree, about to start a serious career, raising a child. That's standing on your own, Olivia. Where you live doesn't change that." "Rebecca's right," Tyler added. "Independence isn't about physical location. It's about having choices. Taking this job gives you choices. You can choose to stay here or you can choose to move out. Either way, it's your decision, made from a position of strength rather than desperation." Olivia looked between them, seeing the sincerity in their expressions. "You really don't want me to move out?" "No," Tyler said simply. "I don't. But I want you to have the freedom to make that choice yourself. Take the job, Olivia. Build your career. And we'll figure out the rest as we go." That evening, after Rebecca left and Grace was asleep, Olivia found Tyler in his office, working on his laptop. She knocked on the open door. "Can I talk to you?" "Always," Tyler said, closing his laptop and giving her his full attention. Olivia sat in the chair across from his desk. "I want to say thank you. For the job recommendation, for everything. But I also need to know something." "What's that?" Tyler asked. "Why are you doing all this?" Olivia asked directly. "The job, the housing, the support. I know you say it's kindness, but Tyler, it's been months. You've changed your entire life to accommodate me and Grace. There has to be a reason beyond just being nice." Tyler was quiet for a long moment, his green eyes studying her. Finally he spoke. "You want the truth?" "Please," Olivia said. "I care about you," Tyler said simply. "Not just as a former employee, not just as someone I'm helping. I care about you, Olivia. You and Grace have become the most important parts of my life." Olivia's heart pounded. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that I look forward to coming home because you're here," Tyler said. "I'm saying that watching you be a mother to Grace makes me happy in ways I can't fully explain. I'm saying that somewhere along the way, helping you stopped being about charity and became about wanting you in my life." He stood and walked around the desk, leaning against it, closer to Olivia but still maintaining respectful distance. "I'm not expecting anything from you. I know the power dynamic is complicated, that you might feel obligated. That's why I pushed for you to get this job. I want you to have independence and choices. If you want to move out, I'll help you find a place. If you want to stay, the door is open. And if someday you might feel something for me beyond gratitude, I'd like to explore that. But only if it's real, only if it's what you genuinely want." Olivia stood, her legs shaky. She moved closer to Tyler, looking up at him. "Can I tell you something?" "Anything," Tyler said softly. "I've had feelings for you since I worked for you," Olivia admitted. "Even when I was married to Derek, even when I knew it was wrong, I used to think about what it would be like to be with someone like you. Someone kind and respectful. When I named you as Grace's father in the hospital, it wasn't just because you were safe. It was because, in my heart, I wished you really were her father." Tyler's breath caught. "Olivia." "I'm falling for you, Tyler," Olivia continued, the words tumbling out. "Maybe I've been falling for you all along and I was just too scared to admit it. But you need to know, if we do this, if we try to be something more than roommates or friends, it can't be about gratitude or obligation. It has to be real." "It is real," Tyler said, his voice rough with emotion. "At least for me it's real. They stood inches apart, the air between them charged with possibility. Olivia knew this was a turning point, a moment that would change everything. She could step back, maintain the safe boundaries they had established. Or she could step forward, take a risk and reach for something more. She stepped forward. Tyler's arms came around her slowly, giving her time to change her mind. When she didn't pull away, he pulled her close, holding her gently. Olivia rested her head against his chest, hearing his heartbeat, steady and strong. "We should take this slow," Tyler murmured into her hair. "I don't want to rush anything. You're still healing, still building your life. We have time." "Slow sounds good," Olivia agreed. "But Tyler? I'm glad we're being honest about this. About how we feel." They held each other for a long moment, both aware that they had crossed a line but neither wanting to go back. When they finally pulled apart, Tyler smiled at her, a genuine expression full of warmth and promise. "Take the job," he said. "Build your career. Be the amazing woman I know you can be. And we'll figure out the rest together." "Together," Olivia repeated, liking the sound of that word. That night, lying in bed, Olivia thought about everything that had happened. She had a job offer that would give her real financial independence. She had feelings for an incredible man who treated her with nothing but respect and kindness. She had a beautiful daughter and a future full of possibilities. 6 months ago, she had been alone and desperate in a hospital room, with no hope and no plan. Now she had both. And while she knew challenges still lay ahead, knew that building a relationship with Tyler while navigating the complexities of their situation wouldn't be easy, she also knew it was worth trying. Because love built on a foundation of respect, kindness, and genuine care was the kind of love worth taking risks for. And Tyler Bennett had proven, again and again, that he was that kind of man. 2 weeks after Olivia accepted the job offer at Bennett Technologies, she started her new position. Patricia Holmes was a demanding but fair boss, pushing Olivia to think strategically and take initiative. The work was challenging, but Olivia thrived on it. After months of focusing solely on Grace and her studies, using her professional skills again felt empowering. Tyler had been true to his word about taking things slowly. They hadn't kissed, hadn't moved beyond that single embrace in his office. But the awareness between them was constant. Lingering looks across the dinner table. Hands touching when they passed Grace between them. Comfortable silences that spoke of deep connection. It was a Saturday afternoon, about 3 weeks after Olivia had started her new job. Tyler was at the office catching up on work and Olivia was home with Grace. Rebecca had stopped by earlier but had left to meet a friend. Olivia was enjoying a rare moment of peace, sitting in the living room with Grace sleeping in her arms, when the building's front desk called. "Ms. Rodriguez? There's a Derek Martinez here to see you. Should I send him up?" Olivia's blood ran cold. "Derek, here." She hadn't seen or heard from him since the divorce 6 months ago. How had he found her? "No," Olivia said quickly. "Don't send him up. Tell him I'm not available." "He's insisting, ma'am. Says he has a right to see his wife." "I'm not his wife," Olivia said firmly, her voice shaking. "We're divorced. Tell him to leave or I'll call the police." There was a pause, then the doorman came back on the line. "He says he's not leaving until he sees you. Should I call security?" "Yes," Olivia said. "And call Tyler Bennett. Tell him what's happening." She hung up and immediately locked all the doors to the penthouse, even though Derek couldn't access the elevator without a key. She held Grace closer, her heart pounding. How had Derek found her? What did he want? 15 minutes later, Tyler burst through the elevator doors, his expression stormy. Rebecca was right behind him, having received Tyler's call and rushed over. "Are you okay?" Tyler asked, moving straight to Olivia. "I'm fine, he didn't get up here," Olivia said, her voice shaking. "But Tyler, how did he find me?" "Hospital records probably," Tyler said grimly. He pulled out his phone. "I'm calling my lawyer." Rebecca took Grace from Olivia's arms. "Come on, let's get you some water. You're shaking." In the kitchen, Rebecca helped Olivia sit down and handed her a glass of water. "What does Derek want?" "I don't know," Olivia said. "We've had no contact since the divorce. Why would he show up now?" Tyler came into the kitchen, his phone still in hand. "My lawyer is on his way. Building security has Derek contained in the lobby. He's demanding to see you, claiming you stole something from him." "I didn't take anything," Olivia protested. "I left with just my clothes and personal items." "It doesn't matter what he claims," Tyler said. "You don't have to see him. We'll let the lawyer handle this." But even as he spoke, Olivia felt anger rising. She had been afraid of Derek for so long, had let him control and diminish her. But she wasn't that person anymore. She was stronger now, independent, with people who supported her. "No," Olivia said, standing up. "I want to face him. I want him to see that I'm not afraid anymore." "Olivia, you don't have to do this," Tyler said gently. "I know," Olivia replied. "But I want to. I need to. For me." Tyler studied her face, then nodded slowly. "Okay, but I'm coming with you. And we're doing this in the lobby with security present. He doesn't come up here, doesn't get anywhere near Grace." 30 minutes later, Olivia walked into the lobby with Tyler at her side and Rebecca upstairs watching Grace. Tyler's lawyer, a sharp-eyed woman named Jennifer Harris, waited by the security desk. Derek stood near the entrance, flanked by 2 security guards. Olivia almost didn't recognize him. Derek had always been meticulous about his appearance, but now he looked disheveled. His shirt was wrinkled, his hair uncombed. He looked older, harder. "Olivia," Derek said when he saw her. He tried to move toward her, but security blocked him. "Finally. I've been trying to find you for months." "Why?" Olivia asked, keeping her voice steady. Tyler stood close beside her, his presence solid and reassuring. "Because you're my wife," Derek said. "You belong with me." "Ex-wife," Olivia corrected. "We're divorced, Derek. I don't belong to you or anyone else." "You can't just leave," Derek continued as if she hadn't spoken. "We took vows. For better or worse. You promised. And you promised to honor and respect me," Olivia shot back. "But you didn't. You controlled me, isolated me, made me feel worthless. That's not a marriage, Derek. That's a prison." Derek's expression darkened. "Is that what he's been telling you?" He glared at Tyler. "Who even is this guy? Your new boyfriend? You left me for him?" "I left you because staying was destroying me," Olivia said. "And Tyler has been nothing but kind and respectful. He's shown me what a healthy relationship looks like, even though we're not together." She paused, then decided to be completely honest. "And even if we were together, it wouldn't be any of your business. You don't get to have opinions about my life anymore." "You had my baby," Derek said suddenly. "That makes it my business." Olivia's stomach dropped. "How do you know about Grace?" "I have friends at the hospital," Derek said. "They told me you gave birth 5 months ago. That's my daughter, Olivia. I have rights." "She's not your daughter," Olivia said firmly. "We've been divorced for 8 months. The timeline doesn't match, Derek. Grace isn't yours." "Then who's the father?" Derek demanded. "Him." He gestured at Tyler. "That's none of your concern," Tyler spoke up, his voice cold. "What is your concern is that you're harassing Olivia after she's clearly stated she wants no contact with you. You need to leave and not come back." Derek took a step forward, stopped by security. "You think you can take my wife and get away with it? You think money protects you?" "Your ex-wife," Jennifer Harris, the lawyer, stepped forward. "And yes, actually, the law protects both of them. You have no legal rights here, Mr. Martinez. Ms. Rodriguez has made it clear she wants no contact with you. If you continue to harass her, we'll file for a restraining order." "On what grounds?" Derek scoffed. "On the grounds that you're making threats and refusing to accept that your marriage is over," Jennifer said calmly. "I've already documented this encounter. One more incident and we go to court." Derek looked between all of them, his expression ugly. Finally, he focused on Olivia. "You're making a mistake. You're going to regret this." "The only thing I regret is not leaving you sooner," Olivia said, and she meant it. Looking at Derek now, she felt no fear, only pity. He was a small man trying to seem big by making others small. "You'll come back," Derek said with false confidence. "You always do." "No," Olivia said clearly. "I won't. I'm building a new life, Derek. A good life with people who respect me. You're part of my past and that's where you're staying." Derek tried to respond, but Tyler stepped forward. His voice was quiet but carried undeniable authority. "You need to leave. Now. If you ever contact Olivia again, if you ever come near her or her daughter, you'll deal with me and my entire legal team. Are we clear?" For a moment, Derek seemed to consider arguing. But something in Tyler's expression made him back down. He pointed at Olivia. "This isn't over." "Yes," Olivia said firmly. "It is." Security escorted Derek out of the building. Olivia watched him go, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. She had faced him, stood her ground, and he had backed down. She had won. Tyler turned to her, concern in his eyes. "Are you okay?" "I am," Olivia said, surprised to realize it was true. "I really am." Jennifer Harris approached. I'll file a restraining order paperwork on Monday, just as a precaution. With his behavior today documented, it should be approved quickly. Thank you, Olivia said. Back upstairs, Rebecca met them at the elevator. How did it go? She was amazing, Tyler said, pride clear in his voice. Completely stood her ground. Olivia took Grace from Rebecca's arms, holding her daughter close. He said he had rights to Grace. That scared me for a moment. He has no rights, Jennifer assured her. Grace's birth certificate lists Tyler as the father. Even if Derek tried to claim otherwise, he'd have to prove paternity, which would show he's not the biological father. He has no legal standing. After Jennifer left, Rebecca made tea while Tyler and Olivia sat in the living room. Grace was awake, looking around with curious eyes. You were brave today, Tyler said softly. Facing him like that. I didn't feel brave, Olivia admitted. I felt terrified. But then I looked at him and realized he's just a bully. And bullies only have power if you're afraid of them. Well, you weren't, Rebecca said, bringing in the tea. You were strong and clear. Derek left knowing he has no power over you anymore. That evening, after Rebecca had gone home and Grace was asleep, Tyler found Olivia standing by the living room window, looking out at the city lights. Still thinking about Derek? He asked, coming to stand beside her. A little, Olivia admitted. Mostly thinking about how far I've come. 6 months ago, if Derek had shown up, I probably would have crumbled. Today, I faced him and didn't fall apart. You've grown stronger, Tyler said. You've always been strong, Olivia, but now you believe it. Olivia turned to look at him. That's because of you. Because you've shown me what I'm capable of, given me space to become myself again. You did that yourself, Tyler said. I just provided the opportunity. They stood close, not touching, but the awareness between them electric. Since their conversation in Tyler's office, they had maintained careful distance, letting their relationship develop slowly. But in this moment, with adrenaline still pumping from the confrontation with Derek, Olivia felt the need for connection, for comfort, for Tyler. Tyler, she said softly. He looked at her, and whatever he saw in her expression made him step closer. Yes. Thank you, Olivia whispered. For standing with me today. For standing with me all these months. Always, Tyler said. I'll always stand with you, Olivia. This time, when Olivia leaned into him, Tyler's arms came around her immediately. They held each other, and Olivia felt safe in a way she never had with Derek. This was what it was supposed to feel like. Being held without being trapped, being supported without being controlled. They stayed like that for a long moment, neither wanting to move. Finally, Tyler pressed a gentle kiss to the top of Olivia's head. You should rest. It's been an intense day. Will you stay? Olivia asked. Just for a little while? I don't want to be alone. Of course, Tyler said. They moved to the couch, sitting close. Tyler put on a movie, something light and easy to watch. Olivia leaned against him, his arm around her shoulders, and felt the tension of the day finally begin to ease. As the movie played, Olivia thought about Derek's words. He had claimed she would come back, that she always did. But he was wrong. She was never going back, never returning to that life of fear and control. She had found something better, something real. She looked up at Tyler, at his profile as he watched the movie, at the gentle way he held her. This was what she wanted. This man, this life, this feeling of safety and respect and possibility. Taking things slow was the right choice, giving their relationship time to develop naturally. But sitting here with Tyler, knowing he cared for her, knowing she cared for him, Olivia felt confident about where they were heading. Derek was her past. Tyler was her future. And that future looked brighter than anything she had ever imagined possible. The weeks following Derek's appearance passed peacefully. The restraining order was approved, and there was no further contact from him. Olivia threw herself into her work at Bennett Technologies, impressing Patricia and her colleagues with her strategic thinking and attention to detail. Grace continued to thrive, now 6 months old and starting to sit up on her own. But the most significant change was in Olivia's relationship with Tyler. They had maintained their taking it slow approach, but the emotional connection between them deepened daily. They talked for hours in the evenings after Grace went to bed, sharing stories about their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. They cooked together, cleaned together, navigated the mundane routines of daily life as a team. It felt, Olivia realized, like a partnership. Like they were building something real together. One evening, Tyler came home from work looking thoughtful. Olivia was in the kitchen preparing dinner while Grace played in her bouncer seat nearby. Hey, Tyler said, setting down his briefcase and immediately walking over to greet Grace. How are my favorite girls? Grace babbled happily at him, and Tyler gently tickled her belly before straightening to help Olivia with dinner. Good day at work? Olivia asked, noting his pensive expression. Yeah, actually really good, Tyler said. We signed a major partnership deal. It's going to mean expansion, new opportunities. He paused, then added, I had lunch with Rebecca today. Oh. Olivia prompted, sensing there was more to the story. She's concerned about me, Tyler said, pulling vegetables from the refrigerator. About us, actually. Olivia's stomach tightened. What do you mean? Tyler began chopping vegetables, his movements precise. She thinks I need to be careful. That getting involved with you could be complicated, given our history and the circumstances. She's right, Olivia said quietly. It is complicated. But that's not what concerns her, Tyler continued. She's worried I'm going to get hurt. Olivia stopped what she was doing, turning to face Tyler fully. Why would she think that? Tyler set down the knife and looked at her. She thinks you might feel obligated to me. That your gratitude could be confused with actual feelings, and once you're fully independent, you'll realize you don't actually want to be with me. The words hung in the air between them. Olivia felt a flash of anger, not at Rebecca but at the suggestion that her feelings weren't real. Is that what you think? Olivia asked. I don't know what to think, Tyler admitted. I know how I feel about you, Olivia. I've fallen for you completely. But Rebecca made some good points. You've been through trauma, you're still recovering, still establishing your independence. How do you know what you feel is real and not just gratitude or dependency? Olivia walked over to Grace and picked her up, needing the comfort of holding her daughter. She thought carefully about her response, knowing this conversation could change everything. Can I tell you about the first day I worked for you? Olivia asked finally. Tyler nodded, leaning against the counter, giving her his full attention. I was so nervous, Olivia continued. I'd been married to Derek for 2 years at that point, and he had already started his controlling behavior. That morning, he lectured me for 30 minutes about how I needed to dress conservatively, not talk to male colleagues unnecessarily, and remember that I represented him. Tyler's jaw tightened, but he remained quiet, letting her talk. I got to the office expecting more of the same, Olivia said. Expecting you to be demanding, maybe condescending, definitely difficult. Instead, you greeted me warmly, asked about my interests, showed me around yourself instead of having someone else do it. You treated me like a person, not a servant. She adjusted Grace in her arms, the baby playing with Olivia's necklace. That first week, when I made a mistake on a scheduling conflict, I braced myself for anger. Derek would have yelled, told me I was incompetent. Instead you said, no problem, we all make mistakes. Let's fix it together. You helped me solve the problem instead of belittling me for creating it. That's just basic decency, Tyler said. Not in my world, Olivia replied. In my world, that was revolutionary. Every day I worked for you, I saw more evidence of the kind of man you were. Kind, patient, respectful. You valued my opinions, encouraged my ideas, treated me like an equal even though you were my boss. She took a breath, gathering courage. Somewhere during that first year, I realized I had feelings for you. Real feelings, not just admiration or gratitude. I pushed them down because I was married, because it was inappropriate. But they were there, Tyler. Long before you ever helped me, long before any of this happened. Tyler was very still, his green eyes locked on hers. When Derek made me quit, Olivia continued, I was heartbroken. Not just because I was losing my income or my career. Because I was losing you. Losing our daily interactions, our conversations, the way being around you made me feel like myself. She walked closer to Tyler, still holding Grace. So no, Tyler, my feelings aren't about gratitude or dependency. They're about recognizing a good man when I see one. They're about being drawn to someone who treats me with respect. They're about falling for someone whose kindness isn't an act but a genuine part of who he is. Olivia, Tyler said, his voice rough with emotion. I understand Rebecca's concerns, Olivia said. I understand why you're worried. But I need you to trust me when I say my feelings are real. Yes, I'm grateful for everything you've done. But I'd have feelings for you even if you hadn't done any of it, because of who you are fundamentally as a person. Tyler reached out and gently touched Grace's cheek, then looked up at Olivia. I believe you. I do. But I'm scared, Olivia. I'm scared of pushing too fast, of taking advantage of the situation, of ruining what we have. So we keep taking it slow, Olivia said. We keep building this foundation. But Tyler, don't doubt what we have. Don't let fear keep us from something that could be really good. They stood close, Grace between them, a little family in the making. Finally, Tyler smiled, that warm expression that always made Olivia's heart skip. "Okay," he said. "No more doubts. We trust what we're building." "We trust it," Olivia agreed. Later that evening, after Grace was asleep and they had cleaned up from dinner, Tyler and Olivia found themselves on the couch together. Tyler was reviewing a business proposal on his tablet while Olivia worked on an assignment for one of her classes. "Can I ask you something?" Olivia said, setting aside her laptop. "Always," Tyler replied, putting down his tablet. "What made you want to help me that day at the hospital?" Olivia asked. "Really? I know you're a kind person, but driving across the city for an ex-employee, taking on a baby, turning your life upside down, that's more than normal kindness." Tyler thought for a long moment before answering. "Do you remember that day about 3 months before you quit when you came to work with a bruise on your arm?" Olivia's breath caught. "You noticed that?" "I did," Tyler said. "You tried to cover it with long sleeves, but I saw it when you reached for something. You said you bumped into a door, but I suspected otherwise." "It was Derek," Olivia admitted. "He grabbed me during an argument hard enough to leave marks." Tyler's expression darkened. "I suspected as much. I wanted to help you then, but I didn't know how. I offered counseling resources, time off, but I couldn't make you leave him. That felt like the most helpless I've ever felt." He turned to face her more fully. "So when the hospital called and said you needed help, I saw it as a second chance. A chance to actually make a difference in your life, to help you the way I couldn't before. I wasn't thinking about the complications or the impact on my life. I was just thinking, Olivia needs help and I can provide it. And then we moved in and made your life crazy," Olivia said with a small smile. "And then you moved in and made my life better," Tyler corrected. "Olivia, before you and Grace I was lonely. I worked all the time because I had nothing else. Coming home to an empty apartment, eating takeout alone, sleeping, repeat. That's not a life, that's an existence." He reached out and took her hand, the touch sending warmth through her. "You and Grace gave me purpose beyond work. You made this place feel like a home. You reminded me that there's more to life than business deals and profit margins." "We changed your life too," Olivia said softly. "In the best possible way," Tyler confirmed. He squeezed her hand gently. "I know we're taking things slow and that's right. But Olivia, I need you to know something. When I look at my future, you and Grace are in it. I'm not helping you temporarily until you get on your feet. I'm building a life with you if that's what you want." Olivia's eyes filled with tears. "That's exactly what I want." They sat in comfortable silence, hands linked, both feeling the significance of what they had just acknowledged. They were building something permanent, something real. The foundation of their relationship was solid: respect, kindness, genuine care. A week later, Rebecca came by for dinner. She had been somewhat distant since her conversation with Tyler, and Olivia suspected she felt guilty about raising concerns. "Rebecca," Olivia said as they set the table while Tyler played with Grace in the living room. "Can we talk?" Rebecca looked nervous. "Of course." "Tyler told me about your concerns," Olivia began. "About whether my feelings are real or just gratitude." Rebecca flushed. "Olivia, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply." "No, you were right to be concerned," Olivia interrupted. "Tyler's your brother and you want to protect him. I respect that. But I need you to understand something. I had feelings for Tyler. Before any of this happened, before he ever helped me. Those feelings have only grown stronger." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "I know the situation is complicated. I know it looks like maybe I'm dependent on him. But I'm becoming independent now. I have a job, I'm finishing my degree, I'm building my own life. And I still want Tyler in it, not because I need him, but because I choose him." Rebecca was quiet for a moment, then her expression softened. "I see that now. The way you look at him, the way you are together, it's real. I'm sorry for doubting." "Don't be sorry," Olivia said. "Be glad Tyler has a sister who cares enough to ask the hard questions." Rebecca smiled. "So you're really in this? With my brother?" "I am," Olivia confirmed. "He's the kindest, most genuine man I've ever known. And I'm going to spend my life making sure he knows how much he's appreciated." "Then welcome to the family," Rebecca said, pulling Olivia into a hug. "Because if you're serious about Tyler, you're stuck with all of us Bennetts." Dinner that evening was filled with laughter and easy conversation. Rebecca told embarrassing stories about Tyler as a child, making both Tyler and Olivia laugh until their sides hurt. Tyler retaliated with stories about Rebecca's teenage years, causing her to throw a dinner roll at him. What would you do if the person who helped you at your lowest point turned out to be the love of your life? Drop a comment telling me your thoughts, and subscribe to see how Olivia and Tyler's story continues. Watching them, Olivia felt a deep sense of belonging. This was her family now. Not by blood or marriage but by choice. Tyler had chosen to help her, and now they were both choosing each other. After Rebecca left, Tyler and Olivia worked together to clean up while Grace slept peacefully in her bouncer. As they moved around the kitchen in their well-practiced routine, Tyler spoke. "Rebecca really likes you," he said. "She told me before she left that she approves completely." "I'm glad," Olivia said. "Her opinion matters to me." Tyler turned off the water and dried his hands, then walked over to Olivia. "So, we've been taking things slow." "We have," Olivia agreed, her heart beginning to race. "And we've established that our feelings are real," Tyler continued. "They are," Olivia confirmed. Tyler reached out and gently tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "Then maybe we can speed up just a little bit?" "What did you have in mind?" Olivia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "This," Tyler said and leaned down to kiss her. His lips were soft against hers, gentle and questioning. Olivia kissed him back, her hand coming up to rest against his chest, feeling his heartbeat strong and steady beneath her palm. The kiss was sweet, not demanding, a perfect reflection of who Tyler was. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. "That was nice," Olivia said. "Yeah," Tyler asked, grinning. "Want to do it again?" "Definitely," Olivia replied. This time the kiss was longer, deeper but still sweet. When they finally broke apart, Tyler rested his forehead against hers. "I've wanted to do that for months," he admitted. "Me too," Olivia said. They stood in the kitchen holding each other, both feeling like they had crossed another threshold. They had moved from roommates to friends to something more, and with each step their foundation grew stronger. That night, Olivia lay in bed thinking about the journey she had been on. From a desperate woman in a hospital room to someone with a career, an education, and a man who genuinely loved her. She thought about Tyler's kiss, about the gentleness and respect he showed even in moments of passion. This was what love was supposed to feel like. Not controlling or demanding but supportive and kind. Not about possession but about partnership. Not about needing someone but about choosing them. Olivia smiled in the darkness, feeling hope and happiness bloom in her chest. The future was still uncertain, but she wasn't facing it alone. She had Tyler, Grace, Rebecca, and a whole life full of possibility ahead of her. Whatever came next, she was ready for it. 6 months into working at Bennett Technologies, Olivia had proven herself as an invaluable member of the operations team. She had successfully managed 3 major projects, streamlined several inefficient processes, and earned the respect of her colleagues. Patricia Holmes had begun giving her increasingly complex responsibilities, and Olivia thrived on the challenge. It was a Tuesday morning when Patricia called Olivia into her office. "Close the door," Patricia said, gesturing to a chair. Olivia sat, curious but not nervous. She and Patricia had developed a good working relationship built on mutual respect. "I'll get straight to the point," Patricia said. "Your old position is available again. Tyler's executive assistant left to take another opportunity. I know you've been excelling in operations, but I wanted to offer you the choice. Would you want to go back to working directly for Tyler?" Olivia's heart skipped. Working with Tyler again, being his assistant, seeing him every day in a professional context. The idea was appealing and terrifying in equal measure. "Can I think about it?" Olivia asked. "Of course," Patricia said. "Take a few days. But Olivia, between you and me, I think you should stay in operations. You have real leadership potential here. The executive assistant role is great, but it's not where you'll make the most impact long-term." Olivia nodded thoughtfully. "Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it." That evening, Olivia discussed the offer with Tyler over dinner. Grace sat in her high chair, messily eating mashed sweet potatoes and babbling happily. "What do you want to do?" Tyler asked, watching Olivia carefully. "I don't know," Olivia admitted. "Part of me loves the idea of working with you again. But Patricia's right. I'm building something real in operations. Taking the assistant position would feel like a step backward." "Then don't take it," Tyler said simply. "Olivia, I never offered you the operations job thinking you'd leave it. That job is about your career, your growth. Don't give that up because you think I want you back as my assistant." "But wouldn't it be nice?" Olivia asked. "Working together every day?" Tyler smiled. "It would be. But you know what's nicer? Coming home every evening and hearing about what you accomplished that day. Watching you grow into a leader. Being proud of you." "You're proud of me?" Olivia asked softly. "So proud," Tyler confirmed. You've taken every opportunity and exceeded expectations. That's who you are, Olivia. Someone who rises to challenges. Don't limit yourself now. Over the next few days, Olivia thought carefully about the decision. She talked to Rebecca, who agreed with Tyler and Patricia that staying in operations was the smarter career move. She talked to some of her colleagues who expressed hope that she would stay on their team. By Friday, Olivia had made her decision. She walked into Patricia's office and closed the door. "I'm staying in operations," Olivia said. "I love what I'm building here and I want to see where it leads." Patricia smiled, clearly pleased. "I was hoping you'd say that. In fact, I have a proposition for you. We're expanding the operations team, and I need a senior project coordinator. It comes with a significant raise and direct reports." "Interested?" Olivia's eyes widened. "That's a management position." "It is," Patricia confirmed. "You've shown leadership qualities, Olivia. You collaborate well, you think strategically, and people respect you. I think you're ready." "I'd love to," Olivia said, feeling excitement bubble up. "Thank you, Patricia, for believing in me." "You earned it," Patricia said. "The promotion is effective next month. We'll announce it to the team on Monday." That evening, Olivia practically danced into the penthouse. Tyler was on the floor with Grace, helping her practice crawling. He looked up when Olivia entered, immediately noting her excited expression. "Good news?" he asked, grinning. "The best news," Olivia said. She scooped Grace up and spun her around, making the baby squeal with laughter. "I got promoted. Senior project coordinator with direct reports." Tyler stood and pulled Olivia into a hug, careful of Grace between them. "That's amazing. Congratulations. I knew you could do it." "Because of you," Olivia said. "You gave me this opportunity." "I gave you a chance," Tyler corrected. "You did everything else yourself." They celebrated that evening with Grace's favorite foods and a special dessert. Rebecca stopped by, bringing champagne to toast Olivia's success. As they sat around the living room talking and laughing, Olivia felt overwhelmed with gratitude. "Thank you," she said suddenly, looking between Tyler and Rebecca. "Both of you. For supporting me, believing in me. I wouldn't be here without you." "You would have gotten here eventually," Rebecca said. "Maybe it would have taken longer, maybe the path would have been different, but you have the talent and drive. You would have succeeded." "Rebecca's right," Tyler added. "We just helped remove some obstacles. The rest was all you." As the evening wound down and Rebecca left, Olivia and Tyler settled on the couch together. Grace had fallen asleep in Tyler's arms, content and peaceful. Tyler looked down at her, his expression tender. "Can you believe it's been 8 months?" he asked softly. "Since that phone call from the hospital?" "It feels like yesterday and forever ago at the same time," Olivia replied. She reached out and gently stroked Grace's cheek. "So much has changed." "Everything has changed," Tyler agreed. He looked up at Olivia. "Good changes, though." "The best changes," Olivia confirmed. Tyler carried Grace to the nursery, settling her into the crib. When he returned, Olivia was still on the couch, looking thoughtful. "What are you thinking about?" Tyler asked, sitting beside her. "The future," Olivia said. "Where we're going from here." Tyler took her hand. "Where do you want us to go?" Olivia thought carefully about her answer. They had been officially together for 3 months now, though their relationship had been building for much longer. They were committed to each other, both clear about their feelings. But they hadn't talked much about concrete future plans. "I want to keep growing," Olivia said finally. "Professionally, I want to excel in this new role, maybe eventually move into upper management. Personally, I want to finish my degree, be the best mother I can be to Grace. And relationship-wise." She paused, meeting Tyler's eyes. "I want to build a life with you. A real, permanent life." Tyler's smile was warm and genuine. "That's exactly what I want too. We're already building it, Olivia. Every day we're here together, we're creating something permanent." "But eventually I should move out," Olivia said, voicing the concern that had been nagging at her. "Find my own place, establish complete independence." "Why?" Tyler asked simply. "Because it's the right thing to do?" Olivia said, though it came out as a question. Tyler shifted to face her more fully. "Olivia, you are independent. You have your own income, your own career, your own life. The fact that we live together doesn't change that. If you want to move out because you want your own space, that's valid. But if you're only considering it because you think that's what you're supposed to do, then don't." "But people will talk," Olivia protested. "About us living together without being married." "Let them talk," Tyler said. "I don't care what people think about our arrangement. I care about what works for us, for our family. The word family made Olivia's heart warm. That's what they were, she realized. A family. Not in the traditional sense perhaps, but in all the ways that mattered. Okay, Olivia said. I'll stay. Not because I'm dependent on you, but because this is where I want to be. Good, Tyler said, pulling her close. Because I want you here. They sat together in comfortable silence, both thinking about the future they were building. Eventually Tyler spoke again. I need to tell you something, he said, his tone serious enough to make Olivia's stomach tighten slightly. Okay, she said. Tyler took a breath. I've been thinking about Grace. About her future, her security, her legal standing. What do you mean? Olivia asked. I want to formally adopt her, Tyler said, the words coming out in a rush. I know I'm already listed as her father on the birth certificate, but that was for convenience and protection. I want to make it official, legal. I want to be her father in every sense of the word. Olivia felt tears spring to her eyes. Tyler. I love her, Olivia, Tyler continued, his voice thick with emotion. She's my daughter in my heart. I want to make it official. I want her to have my name, my protection, everything. If something happens to you, I want legal rights to keep her safe. And I want her to always know that I chose her, that I wanted to be her father. Olivia couldn't speak for a moment, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what Tyler was offering. This wasn't just helping anymore. This was commitment, permanent and binding. Are you sure? She finally managed. Tyler, adoption is forever. You can't change your mind later. I don't want to change my mind, Tyler said firmly. Olivia, I've been Grace's father since the day she was born. I was there for her first bath, her first smile, her first time rolling over. I fed her, changed her, rocked her to sleep hundreds of times. She's mine and I'm hers. I just want to make it legal. Olivia wiped her tears. Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. Tyler, that would mean everything to me, to both of us. Tyler smiled, relief and joy clear on his face. I'll call my lawyer tomorrow and start the process. They held each other, both feeling the weight and beauty of this decision. Tyler wasn't just helping Olivia anymore. He was becoming Grace's father officially, legally, permanently. He was choosing them as his family. The next few weeks were busy. Tyler's lawyer began the adoption paperwork, which turned out to be relatively straightforward since Tyler was already listed on the birth certificate and there was no other father contesting the adoption. At work, Olivia transitioned into her new role, managing a team of 3 coordinators and overseeing multiple complex projects. One evening, about a month after Tyler had proposed the adoption, Olivia came home from work to find Tyler in the kitchen, cooking dinner. Grace was in her high chair, watching him with wide eyes. You're home early, Olivia said, setting down her work bag and immediately going to kiss Grace's head. Finished my meetings early, Tyler said, stirring something on the stove. Thought I'd make your favorite. Chicken pasta. What's the occasion? Olivia asked, noting the slightly nervous energy coming from Tyler. No occasion, Tyler said, but he wasn't meeting her eyes. Olivia knew Tyler well enough now to recognize when he was being evasive. Tyler Bennett, what's going on? Tyler turned off the stove and turned to face her. He looked nervous, which was unusual for a man who regularly negotiated million-dollar deals with complete confidence. The adoption is going through, he said. My lawyer called today. The judge approved it. Grace is officially my daughter. Tyler, that's wonderful, Olivia exclaimed, moving to hug him. There's more, Tyler said, gently stopping her. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Olivia's breath caught. She knew what that box was, what it meant. Tyler opened the box, revealing a beautiful ring. The center stone was a deep blue sapphire surrounded by small diamonds. It's your birthstone, Tyler explained. I didn't want a traditional diamond. I wanted something that was uniquely you. Olivia stared at the ring, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it. Olivia Rodriguez, Tyler said, his voice steady despite the emotion in his eyes. These past months with you have been the best of my life. You've challenged me, inspired me, and shown me what it means to truly share your life with someone. Grace is legally my daughter now, and I want to make you legally my wife. He took a breath. I'm not proposing because of obligation or because it's the next logical step. I'm proposing because I love you. Because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Because when I think about my future, you're in every single part of it. Will you marry me? Olivia felt tears streaming down her face. She looked at Tyler, at this man who had changed her entire life, who had shown her what love and respect really meant, who had chosen both her and her daughter without hesitation. Yes, she said, her voice choked with emotion. Yes, Tyler, I'll marry you. Tyler's face broke into the biggest smile Olivia had ever seen. He slipped the ring onto her finger and it fit perfectly. Then he pulled her into his arms, holding her close. Grace chose that moment to bang on her high chair tray, as if demanding attention. Both Tyler and Olivia laughed, pulling apart to look at the baby. Your mama said yes, Grace, Tyler said, lifting the baby from her chair. We're going to be a real family. Official and everything. Olivia watched Tyler hold Grace, both of them looking at her with expressions of love and happiness. This was her family. Not perfect, not traditional, but real and beautiful and built on a foundation of kindness, respect, and genuine care. She thought about the woman she had been 8 months ago, alone and desperate in a hospital room. That woman wouldn't have believed this future was possible. Wouldn't have believed that kindness without conditions existed, that men like Tyler were real, that happy endings happened to people like her. But here she was, engaged to a man who loved her, with a beautiful daughter, a successful career, and a future bright with possibility. I love you, Olivia said to Tyler, the words feeling both new and like something she had been saying forever. I love you too, Tyler replied, his green eyes warm. Both of you. My girls. They stood in the kitchen, the three of them together, dinner forgotten for the moment. This was what mattered, Olivia thought. Not fancy dinners or perfect moments, but this, standing together, choosing each other, building a life based on love and respect and hope. The journey from that desperate hospital room to this joyful kitchen had been long and sometimes difficult. But every step had been worth it. Every moment of vulnerability, every leap of faith, every choice to accept help instead of pushing it away, had led her here. To home. To love. To family. And as Tyler leaned down to kiss her, with Grace babbling happily between them, Olivia knew with absolute certainty that this was exactly where she was meant to be. The engagement brought a wave of excitement and celebration. Rebecca was thrilled, immediately volunteering to help plan the wedding. Patricia and Olivia's colleagues at Bennett Technologies congratulated her warmly. Even Tyler's parents, who Olivia met for the first time via video call, were welcoming and kind. But with the joy came some anxiety. Olivia had one more semester left before completing her degree, and she was determined to finish before the wedding. She and Tyler agreed to wait a year, giving them time to plan properly and allowing Olivia to reach her educational goal. 6 months passed in a blur of work, school, wedding planning, and raising Grace. Olivia excelled in her management role, earning respect from her team and praise from Patricia. Grace grew into a happy, active toddler, taking her first steps and saying her first words. And through it all, Tyler was there, steady and supportive, proving every day that his love was real and lasting. One evening, about a month before their wedding, Olivia and Tyler sat together on the balcony of the penthouse. Grace was asleep inside and the city lights twinkled below them. Tyler had his arm around Olivia's shoulders and she leaned into his warmth. Can you believe we're getting married in a month? Olivia asked, looking at her engagement ring which she still admired daily. I can, Tyler said. I've been ready to marry you since the day I proposed. Earlier, actually. Olivia smiled. When did you know you wanted to marry me? Tyler thought for a moment. Do you remember that night, about 4 months after you moved in, when Grace had that fever and we stayed up all night taking care of her? I remember, Olivia said. That had been a scary night, with Grace's temperature spiking and both of them worried. I watched you that night, Tyler continued. You were exhausted, scared, but you never panicked. You just focused on taking care of her, doing everything the doctor said, staying calm. And when her fever finally broke at dawn, you held her and cried with relief. He pulled Olivia closer. In that moment, watching you be Grace's mother, I thought, this is the woman I want to spend my life with. Not because you were perfect, but because you were real. You loved fiercely, you faced fear with courage, and you never gave up. That's when I knew. Olivia felt tears in her eyes. I love you so much, Tyler. I love you too, he replied, kissing the top of her head. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, both lost in thought. Finally, Olivia spoke. Can I tell you something I've never told anyone? Always, Tyler said. Olivia took a deep breath. When I was in that hospital room before I called for you, I almost gave Grace up for adoption. Tyler tensed slightly but didn't interrupt. I was so scared, Olivia continued, her voice barely above a whisper. I had no money, no support, no idea how I would survive. The nurse had mentioned adoption as an option, and for a moment I seriously considered it. I thought maybe Grace would be better off with a family who could actually take care of her. But you didn't, Tyler said softly. No, Olivia agreed. Because when I looked at her face, I couldn't imagine giving her away. She was mine and I was hers and somehow we would figure it out. But I was terrified, Tyler. Absolutely terrified. And then you thought of me, Tyler said. And then I thought of you, Olivia confirmed. The one person in my life who had ever made me feel like I was worth something. I didn't know if you would help. I didn't know if you'd be angry that I listed you as the father. But I knew you were a good person and I had to take the chance. She turned to look at him. You saved us, Tyler. Not just from homelessness or poverty but from being separated. If you hadn't helped, I don't know what would have happened. I might have had to give her up. I couldn't have afforded childcare and work and everything. You saved our family before it even existed. Tyler was quiet for a long moment, processing this information. When he spoke, his voice was thick with emotion. I'm glad you called me. I'm glad you took that chance. Because you and Grace are the best things that ever happened to me. Even though we turned your life upside down? Olivia asked. Especially because of that, Tyler said. Olivia, my life before you was empty. I worked, I made money, I had success. But I was lonely. I had no purpose beyond the next deal, the next acquisition. You and Grace gave me something to live for beyond just myself. He cupped her face gently. You didn't save just yourself by calling me. You saved me too. From a life of isolation and meaninglessness. So thank you, Olivia. Thank you for being brave enough to reach out. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for choosing me. Olivia kissed him, pouring all her love and gratitude into the gesture. When they pulled apart, both were smiling through tears. 1 month, Olivia said. 1 month until we're married. Best month of preparation for the best day of our lives, Tyler replied. The next few weeks were chaotic with final wedding preparations, but they were happy chaos. Rebecca helped Olivia find the perfect dress, a simple but elegant design in cream that made Olivia feel beautiful. Tyler coordinated with the venue, a beautiful garden space that would be perfect for their intimate ceremony. Grace got fitted for a little green flower girl dress, looking adorable at every fitting. 1 week before the wedding, Olivia completed her final exam, officially finishing her bachelor's degree in business. Patricia threw a small celebration in the office, and Olivia's team presented her with a framed copy of her degree when it arrived. I'm so proud of you, Tyler said that evening, looking at the degree hung on their bedroom wall. You worked so hard for this. It feels surreal, Olivia admitted. A year ago I couldn't have imagined being here. College graduate, successful career, about to marry the man I love. It's like a dream. It's real, Tyler assured her. You made it real by refusing to give up, by accepting help when you needed it, by working hard every single day. You earned this life, Olivia. The night before the wedding, as was tradition, Tyler stayed at Rebecca's place while Olivia and Grace had the penthouse to themselves. Olivia couldn't sleep, too excited and nervous and happy. She walked into Grace's room and found her daughter awake, standing in her crib. Hi, baby girl, Olivia whispered, lifting Grace out. Can't sleep either? She carried Grace to the rocking chair and settled in, holding her daughter close. Grace snuggled against her mother, sucking her thumb contentedly. Tomorrow we become an official family, Olivia said softly. Tyler's going to be your daddy legally and officially. And I'm going to be his wife. We're going to have the life I always dreamed of for us. Grace looked up at her with those wide, trusting eyes, and Olivia felt overwhelming love wash over her. I need you to know something, Olivia continued. When things get hard, because life gets hard sometimes, I need you to remember that love is what matters. Not money or success or what other people think. Love and kindness and treating people with respect. That's what your daddy taught me, and that's what we're going to teach you. She rocked slowly, thinking about the journey that had brought them here. Your daddy chose us, Grace. He didn't have to, but he did. Because he's a good man, the best man I've ever known. And we're going to show him every day how grateful we are, how much we love him. Grace's eyes began to drift closed, and Olivia continued rocking, not ready to put her down yet. She thought about the woman she had been 15 months ago, broken and scared and alone. That woman wouldn't recognize the person Olivia had become. Confident, successful, loved. But both versions of her were valid, Olivia realized. The scared woman who asked for help and the strong woman who built a new life. Both took courage. Both mattered. Thank you, Olivia whispered, not sure if she was talking to Grace, to Tyler, to fate, or to herself. Thank you for this second chance. I promise I won't waste it. She sat there for another hour, holding her sleeping daughter, thinking about the wedding tomorrow and the life stretching out before them. When she finally put Grace back to bed and crawled into her own bed, Olivia felt peace settle over her. Tomorrow she would marry Tyler Bennett. Tomorrow they would become an official family. Tomorrow her new life would truly begin. And as she drifted off to sleep, Olivia smiled, knowing that tomorrow would be perfect not because nothing would go wrong, but because she would be surrounded by love. And love, she had learned, could overcome anything. The morning of the wedding dawned bright and clear, with sunshine streaming through the penthouse windows. Olivia woke early, her heart fluttering with anticipation. Today was the day she would marry Tyler, the day their family would become official. Rebecca arrived at 8 with breakfast, makeup artists, and a hairstylist. "Good morning, bride," Rebecca said cheerfully, balancing multiple bags while Grace toddled over to greet her. "Good morning," Olivia replied, already feeling emotional. The next few hours passed in a happy blur of preparation. The makeup artist gave Olivia a natural look that enhanced her features without feeling overdone. The stylist arranged her natural hair in beautiful curls that framed her face. When Olivia finally put on her dress, a simple but elegant cream-colored gown, Rebecca gasped. "Olivia, you look stunning," Rebecca said, tears in her eyes. Olivia looked at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the confident, radiant woman looking back. This was who she had become. Someone who knew her worth, who had fought for her happiness, who had built a life she was proud of. Grace, dressed in her little green flower girl dress, toddled over and hugged Olivia's legs. "Mama pretty," she said, one of her newer phrases. "Thank you, baby," Olivia said, carefully bending down to kiss Grace's head without messing up her hair or makeup. The ceremony was at 2 in the afternoon at a beautiful garden venue about 30 minutes from the city. When Olivia arrived with Rebecca and Grace, she was overwhelmed by the beauty of the space. White chairs lined a path through blooming flowers, leading to an arch covered in green vines and white roses. Tyler's parents were already seated, along with colleagues from Bennett Technologies, a few of Olivia's classmates from her online program, and some of Tyler's business associates. It was a small gathering of about 50 people, intimate and perfect. Olivia waited in a small room adjacent to the garden, her heart pounding. Rebecca had taken Grace to get her ready for her walk down the aisle, leaving Olivia alone for a moment. She thought about everything that had led to this moment. The fear and desperation of that hospital room. Tyler's immediate willingness to help. The slow building of trust and friendship. The growing awareness of deeper feelings. The decision to take a risk on love. Every step had been scary. Every choice had required courage. But every single one had been worth it. A soft knock on the door interrupted her thoughts. "It's time," Rebecca said, peeking in. "Ready?" "So ready," Olivia replied. The music started, a soft instrumental piece. Grace went first, carefully walking down the aisle with Rebecca guiding her. She carried a small basket of flower petals, dropping them with concentration that made the guests chuckle. When she reached the front, Tyler's mother reached out to take her hand, keeping her steady. Then it was Olivia's turn. She had no one to walk her down the aisle, had decided to walk alone as a symbol of her independence and strength. As she stepped out and began her walk, her eyes immediately found Tyler. He stood at the altar in a navy blue suit, his green eyes locked on her. The expression on his face was one of pure love and wonder, and it made Olivia's heart soar. This man, this incredible man, had chosen her. And she had chosen him. The walk down the aisle felt both endless and too short. When Olivia finally reached Tyler, he held out his hand. She took it, feeling the warmth and strength of his grip. "You're beautiful," Tyler whispered. "You're not so bad yourself," Olivia whispered back, making him grin. The officiant, a friend of Tyler's, began the ceremony. "We're gathered here today to celebrate the union of Tyler and Olivia, a love story that began in the most unexpected way but has grown into something beautiful and real." He continued, talking about love and commitment, about choosing each other every day, about building a life together. Olivia barely heard the words, too focused on Tyler's face, on the way he looked at her like she was the most precious thing in his world. When it came time for vows, Tyler went first. "Olivia," he began, his voice steady but emotional. 15 months ago I got a phone call that changed my life. I didn't know it then, but that call was bringing me you and Grace, the two people who would become my entire world." He squeezed her hands gently. "You've taught me that real strength isn't about never needing help. It's about being brave enough to ask for it. You've shown me that love isn't about possession or control. It's about support and respect and choosing someone every day. I promise to always be your partner, not your savior. To support your dreams while pursuing my own. To respect your independence while building our interdependence. To love you not despite your past but because of how you've overcome it. I promise to be the best father I can be to Grace and any children we might have in the future. And I promise to never take for granted the gift of your love. Olivia was crying now, tears streaming down her face. Rebecca stepped forward to hand her a tissue. Tyler, Olivia began when it was her turn. When I called you from that hospital room, I was at my lowest point. I had nothing, was nothing, felt like nothing. But you looked at me and saw someone worth helping. Someone worth believing in. She took a shaky breath. You could have done the minimum. Given me money for an apartment, helped me find a job, and walked away. Instead, you opened your home and your heart. You showed me what real kindness looks like, what healthy love feels like, what it means to be truly respected. I promise to honor the gift you've given me by continuing to grow and build the best life I can. To be a partner worthy of your love. To raise our daughter with the same values of kindness and respect you've shown me. To never forget where we came from or take for granted where we are. And to love you with everything I have, every day for the rest of my life. There wasn't a dry eye in the gathering. Even the officiant had to pause to compose himself. Do you, Tyler Alexander Bennett, take Olivia Maria Rodriguez to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do, Tyler said, his voice strong and sure. Do you, Olivia Maria Rodriguez, take Tyler Alexander Bennett to be your lawfully wedded husband? I do, Olivia said, smiling through her tears. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Tyler, you may kiss your bride. Tyler pulled Olivia close and kissed her, a sweet, perfect kiss that sealed their commitment. The guests erupted in applause. Grace, not wanting to be left out, Toddle ran toward them yelling, "Dada Mama," making everyone laugh. Tyler scooped Grace up, and the three of them stood together, a family officially and completely. The reception was held in a beautiful pavilion adjacent to the garden. There was dinner, dancing, and toasts. Rebecca gave a speech that made everyone laugh and cry, talking about how Tyler had always been the kind of person who helped others but rarely let others help him, and how Olivia and Grace had taught him to accept love as much as he gave it. Patricia spoke about Olivia's journey at Bennett Technologies, praising her work ethic and leadership. I've watched Olivia grow from a scared woman taking a chance on a job offer to a confident leader who inspires her entire team. She's proof that when you combine talent with opportunity and add in hard work, amazing things happen. When it was time for the first dance, Tyler and Olivia swayed together to a soft, romantic song. Grace danced between them, holding onto both their legs and swaying too, making them laugh. Are you happy? Tyler asked, looking down at Olivia. Happier than I ever thought possible, Olivia replied honestly. Me too, Tyler said. You and Grace are everything to me. As the evening wound down and guests began to leave, Olivia found a quiet moment to look around. She saw Tyler talking with his parents, Grace asleep on his shoulder. She saw Rebecca laughing with some colleagues. She saw Patricia chatting with Tyler's business partners. This was her life now. Full of love and connection and possibility. She had built this with help certainly, but built it nonetheless. From nothing to everything, from desperate to joyful, from alone to surrounded by family. Later, back at the penthouse with Grace asleep in her room, Tyler and Olivia stood on the balcony looking out at the city. Olivia wore Tyler's suit jacket over her dress, the evening having turned cool. Mrs. Bennett, Tyler said, testing out her new name. I like the sound of that, Olivia replied, leaning into him. 1 year ago, did you imagine we'd be here? Tyler asked. Not in a million years, Olivia admitted. 1 year ago I was barely surviving, just trying to make it through each day. The idea that I could have all this seemed impossible. But here we are, Tyler said. Here we are, Olivia agreed. They stood in comfortable silence, both thinking about the journey they had been on and the future stretching before them. Can I tell you something? Tyler said after a while. Always, Olivia replied, echoing the word he always said to her. Grace called me Dada, today during the ceremony, Tyler said, his voice thick with emotion. It wasn't the first time, but in that moment in front of everyone, it felt official. Like she was claiming me as much as I've claimed her. She loves you so much, Olivia said. You're her hero, Tyler. She's my hero too, Tyler replied. Both of you are. You've taught me that the best things in life aren't planned or expected. They're the surprises that change everything. Olivia turned to face him fully. Thank you for being open to the surprise. Thank you for saying yes when I asked for help. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for trusting me, Tyler replied. For letting me in, for building this life with me, for choosing me. They kissed, a slow, sweet kiss that held promise and commitment and love. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. Ready for bed, Mrs. Bennett? Tyler asked. Ready for anything as long as you're there, Olivia replied. They went inside, checked on Grace one more time. She was sleeping peacefully, clutching the small stuffed bear Tyler had given her, and then retired to their room. As Olivia got ready for bed, taking off her wedding dress and makeup, she caught sight of her reflection. The woman looking back at her was confident, loved, happy. She had come so far from that desperate woman in the hospital room. But both versions of her mattered, Olivia realized. The scared woman who asked for help had been brave. The strong woman who built a new life was brave too. Both were her, both were valid, both were important parts of her journey. She climbed into bed beside Tyler, and he immediately pulled her close. "I love you," he murmured, already half asleep. "I love you too," Olivia replied. As she drifted off to sleep, Olivia thought about everything that had led to this moment. The pain of her past, the courage to ask for help, the decision to accept kindness, the choice to take a risk on love. Every step had been necessary. Every choice had mattered. Every moment of vulnerability had led to strength. She had learned that accepting help wasn't weakness but wisdom. That kindness without conditions really did exist. That love built on respect and support could heal even the deepest wounds. That happy endings were possible, even after the darkest beginnings. In the next room, Grace slept peacefully, safe and loved and secure. Beside Olivia, Tyler slept, this man who had changed everything by simply choosing to care. And in her own heart, Olivia felt peace and joy and gratitude. This was her life now, built on a foundation of hope and kindness, created through courage and hard work, sustained by love and respect. From a desperate phone call in a hospital room to a wedding in a beautiful garden. From having nothing to having everything that mattered. From alone to family. This was her new beginning. And it was perfect. 6 months later, epilogue. Olivia sat at her desk at Bennett Technologies, reviewing the quarterly report her team had prepared. As senior project coordinator, she had exceeded all expectations, and Patricia had hinted at another promotion in the near future. Her phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. "Doctor confirmed it. We're having a baby. I love you." Olivia's hand went to her stomach, where their second child grew. This baby had been planned, wanted, celebrated from the moment they discovered the pregnancy. Unlike Grace's unexpected arrival, this was a child they were bringing into a stable, loving home. She texted back, "I love you too. Can't wait to tell Grace she's going to be a big sister." That evening they did tell Grace. At 18 months old, she didn't fully understand, but she was excited anyway, patting Olivia's stomach and saying "baby" with delight. As they sat together in their living room, Grace between them babbling happily, Tyler and Olivia looked at each other over their daughter's head. "Are you happy?" Tyler asked, the same question he had asked at their wedding. "Happier than I ever dreamed possible," Olivia replied, the same answer but even more true now. Because she had learned the most important lesson, that asking for help when you needed it wasn't weakness. That accepting kindness with gratitude opened doors to possibilities. That love built on respect and support could transform everything. She had been broken and desperate once. Now she was whole and joyful. And it had all started with one brave choice, to reach out when she needed help and to accept it when it was offered. That choice had changed everything. Had given her a family, a career, a life she loved. Had shown her that happy endings weren't just in fairy tales but were possible for real people who refused to give up. As Grace fell asleep between them and Tyler gently carried her to bed, Olivia thought about how far she had come. From that cold hospital room to this warm home. From desperate and alone to loved and surrounded by family. The journey had been long and sometimes difficult. But every step had been worth it. Because it had led her here, to this life, to this love, to this happiness. And as Tyler returned and pulled her into his arms, as they talked about baby names and the future and all the beautiful possibilities ahead, Olivia knew with absolute certainty that this was exactly where she was meant to be. Home. With the man she loved. Building a life based on kindness, hope and love. And that was the best ending of all.